Hey, this is David Kaplan from ESPN 1000, the Cap and J Hood Morning Show, and NBC Sports Chicago. Do what I do. Watch Braggs in the Stands with Greg, Braggs, and Jake. Must-watch television. Take that.
Take that. We are live at Catch. Let's go.
Sign that is. What if I told you 17 minutes of rain would wash away 108 years of drought?
Do you see this team growing into the team that you were in 2005?
There's great practice, everybody.
You are ridiculous.
We are live here at Catch, Table and Tap, here in Merrillville, Indiana on US 30. We've been working through so many technical difficulties trying to get this right, but we are excited to kick things off. I am your host, of course, Gregory Braggs Jr. This is my co-host and great friend, Johnny P., a man that wears many hats here on this amazing show that normally goes a lot smoother, but we're trying to do things in the elements. It's raining, it's windy, but we're going to get things done. We got a live audience here in front of us. We got Jim McMahon inside here at Catch Table and Tap doing a public signing and meet and greet for the Collector's Cave. This show, of course, is presented by the Collector's Cave, and we appreciate them bringing us along board to have some fun in what they're trying to get accomplished. So again, appreciate everybody's patience. This is also we're also doing a little crossover show here with my guys, Draft Dr. Phil Ottochian and Shayne, the smartest man. We are getting things along. And yes, Shayne has got control of the mic, so be careful or with the brand. But I want to bring our special guest in right away. He's been waiting patiently in the background. So here he is.
There he is.
Mr. David Kaplan from ESPN 1000 joins us right now. We appreciate you being patient as we get things done. How are we doing today, David Kaplan?
Well, first of all, and I love Phil. Phil's the greatest. Phil, stick the football.
He's all right.
The singing off camera has got to go.
I didn't even know he was on.
I'm watching all the singing, and I'm like, stick the football. Pretty funny.
I had no idea you could hear me when you were there.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Look at that.
100%. You guys good?
Yes. We've had some technical difficulties, Cap. So I'm trying to work with the echo. I can hear myself coming back, so I speak through it. But Greg and Alex and Johnny been working their tails off out there to try to get this broadcast to the fans there as well as the people out there. And you being a part of this got to be huge for Greg and all of us.
So it's my anniversary tomorrow, and my wife say, hey, all weekend, don't have to work, so let's just hang out, whatever, while we're getting I feel like I need an ark to leave my house. It's raining so much. So I'm out here cleaning the garage, waiting for her roses to get delivered. Bragg texted me, and I'm like, you know what? She's put up with me for 17 years. She'll deal with me going out with my guys.
There you go. Well, we appreciate it.
17 big years. They said it wouldn't last, and here we are.
Look at you. Congratulations.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, Cap. You know, we're out here at Catch Table and Tap. Jim McMahon's here. You know, what are some of you have so many great stories. You've been in the Chicago sports media for so long. I mean, you cross paths with so many greats, Michael Jordan, everybody, to name every big name in this city. What are some of your favorite stories, or if you have one specific story with Jim McMahon that you could share with our audience? What's that?
Am I allowed to come here?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I told by someone who was in the huddle that when Jim was a rookie, he wasn't starting at the start of the year. They went with Bob Avellini. Much like what we saw now with Justin Fields, Jim wasn't going to be the opening day starter, even though he was clearly the best quarterback on the roster. They bring Jim in. Jim is in the huddle, and a bunch of guys are talking. And he looks around, and now this is a team just like it is now. We haven't had a great quarterback. And he looks around, he goes, shut the fuck up. From this moment on, no one ever talks in my huddle again except me. Are we clear? No one says a word except me. This is my huddle, not yours. And everyone's like, whoa, we got a quarterback. And from that point on, we had a quarterback.
That's amazing.
That's what a leader does. That's what the Chicago Bears have been missing for years.
Yes.
You throw the names out: Moses Moreno, Jim Miller, Shayne Matthews. You have all these quarterbacks that have gone and played after, Jimmy Mack. But you have never seen that take charge. This is my team. No matter what is going to happen, we are going to do it, Cap. Now you get this, you get the red rifle coming in here. A lot of people are skipping past this guy, but there is something to be said about him coming in here, knowing that Justin Fields nipping at his tail, so to speak. But this guy's got an attitude that goes along with the narrative on redheads. And I really believe he's going to have a lot to say when camp opens up. And that's only going to benefit the Chicago Bears. Am I right?
Yeah, completely agree. And look, I'm all in on, and I was debating this with Mark Silverman from ESPN 1000, that Matt's plan hasn't worked yet to a degree. We're going to run the football, haven't stayed loyal to it. We're going to have a top 10 offense, haven't accomplished that. Mm-hmm. But he was also hamstrung by a guy who had a great work ethic, just wasn't good enough in Mitchell Trubisky. So I'm willing to trust him coming from Kansas City and how they developed Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes speaks just rave reviews about Matt and how he helped with his development. So I'm all in. Let's let this plan play out, and let's see what happens.
So you are expecting that the Red Rifle will be the starting quarterback week one. I myself am wanting to see Justin Fields in LA week one, but you're expecting the Red Rifle, even though his primetime performance games has not been good in his career. Are you expecting Andy Dalton to be the quarterback week one?
Yes, I am. I think, look, if you put yourself in Matt's shoes, you're fighting to keep your job. I think by drafting Justin, it bought them extra time. But you also, if you start Justin Fields week one, and let's assume you lose, and for 4 weeks in, you're 1-3, you got a tough schedule, you're struggling, you have nothing to turn to. What are you going to do? Bench him for Andy Dalton? No. So now all of a sudden the air's out of the balloon. But if you start Andy Dalton and it doesn't go well, guess what? We're going to play the kid and we're going to deal with the growing pains, and you bought yourself another year in the job, which I you can't draft Justin Fields. I still remember where I was standing in Naples, Florida, talking to Phil, and I think Shayne was on with us.
Yep.
And I said, I have a feeling they're going to make a trade up and get a quarterback. Yep. They did just that. We're all excited. So what are you going to do? You're going to measure the Bears now on this coming season's record and then fire everybody and now have to have Justin Fields learn a whole new system and a whole new way to develop? No chance. No chance.
But why premeditate it, Cap? To me, I understand not trying to put the cart before the horse and announcing any kind of proclamations about Justin Fields going into training camp before you've seen him or the preseason. But Russell Wilson is the example, a guy that they didn't plan on playing right away, a third-round pick. Matt Flynn had just got paid $60 million, and he came in and with his hair lit on fire. And I can remember Pete Carroll saying, I couldn't look my team in the face and not start Russell Wilson week 1. How come do you believe that there's like some chance that Matt Nagy just won't speak on publicly that Justin Fields could come into camp in preseason and be so prepared? Because we've heard about Justin Fields' intelligence. His testing IQ is off the charts. To me, there has to be a sliver of chance to allow that to happen. I'm not saying force it, but you have to. To me, the premeditation, making it before it even happens, seems like a misstep. I understand what you have to say verbally to the media, but I'm just hoping in the back of his head, he's saying, I'll still give the kid a shot if he blows me away. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't see it. I really don't. Because look at that schedule. Cleveland, I think Cleveland's going to be a really, really good team. I know they're the Browns. They're freaking loaded. So you're going to have him play Cincinnati. That should be a winnable game, but they have a young quarterback who's now in year 2. They got a decent team. They just drafted the Chase kid out of LSU, who's a beast as a wide receiver. But let's assume you win that game, but you lose to the Clevelands of the world, the Rams on the road, and all of a sudden the air's out of the balloon. You're like, oh, God, we're 1-4? How are we turning this thing around?
Right.
But we're developing this kid. Or, okay, we're 1-4 with Andy Dalton. I'm handing the keys to Justin. We're going to ride the rest of the year with him without, injury notwithstanding. I just don't see a scenario where he's starting opening day. I don't.
Cap, with this offensive line, I think that plays into it too. I mean, you really have a potential to have a starting left and right tackle that are both rookies, no matter, what happens at right tackle. But, you let this offensive line gel for 3 or 4 weeks and let Andy Dalton take those lumps rather than your rookie quarterback. I think that's got to also be in play here with some of their thinking. Don't you?
Completely agree with you. Plus, if you're starting Larry Borum at tackle, I don't think he starts. I think he gets run. I think if Fetty starts there. But if you're starting rookie tackles, a rookie quarterback, you're not blessed with, oh, my God, at wide receiver. Like, Allen's a really good player. Darnell Mooney, okay. We'll see how he does in year 2. I just don't see a scenario where Justin Fields and 2 rookie tackles are starting the season. I don't see it.
There has to be a point, Cap, and this hasn't happened with any coach except maybe Ditka. You would know best in that department, but I always talk about performance over politics. How much is Nagy double talking? Because he's like, I didn't promise him anything, but I told him it's the same thing. So he contradicts himself there because we know, you as a coach, me as a coach, how important competition is. So to Greg's point, even though it's not the best idea in regards to where you've laid the chess pieces out, but isn't it so important for the locker room that there is an open competition and it's not a premeditated start for Andy Dalton? I mean, that is the essence of football, in my opinion. And I think you lose the locker room and a coach that's continuously learning on the job. This could be something that backfires in his face, just like when he sat Mitch and the whole offense that preseason without giving them reps. Talk about that.
Yeah, I am going to disagree with you, my friend, because I think the bottom line is not the 53 guys on that roster opening day. It is, we got to take a macro, not a micro look. What's the best thing for Justin Fields so that in 2022, 2026, 2029, 2031,
right,
we go, wow, that was the best thing we ever did. We may have lost a little bit early. Maybe he was good enough to start, but guess what? We developed him. We're not in a city, this is no revelation, that knows how to develop quarterbacks. So Andy Reid put this plan together for Patrick Mahomes. They executed it. He sat for 16 of the 17 weeks and then said, all right, I'm ready to go. I'm all in that. Whatever's the best thing so that when I'm watching Bears football 5 years from now, I'm like, wow, look at our quarterback. This guy's a beast.
yeah.
Or, no, we got to start him opening day because our other quarterback's the Red Rifle and he's not very good. I got to do whatever's best to develop Justin Fields. I'm all in.
It kind of sounds like, Cap, that you're playing a little bit of chess when everybody else is playing checkers, giving the coaching staff, Nagy, and the fan base a little bit to fall back on for hope. If it doesn't get off to a good start, like you said earlier, the broadcast with Dalton, then you could turn to the kid after he's had enough practices and a little bit more, and then maybe turn it around if it doesn't go well for Dalton in the beginning. I kind of like that. It gives a little bit more hope. Obviously, the situation with Mahomes is a lot different, and Alex Smith got pushed to another level, as I said on this show before. They thought that Mahomes might take over halfway through the season, and he just kept having a career season as Alex Smith did, and then they couldn't pull him, and then the season ended, and obviously Mahomes started the following year, and they made it to the AFC Championship, and then the following year won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I go back to just tell me what's the best thing for developing a young quarterback. If that's starting him opening day and, getting your head kicked in Cleveland, okay, go for it. But look at the ones who really, and again, there's been some. Now, the Bears also have a difference here. Like the Bengals knew from day one they weren't going to pay Andy Dalton $18 million to back up. They drafted Joe Burrow, and they didn't have any expectation they were going to be a playoff team. They knew we're in a full-scale rebuild here. But the Bears truly believe they can win the division and make a run in the playoffs. Now, that may end up being with Justin Fields starting in week 5, week 6. Andy Dalton's not a stumble bum here. Like when people booed the signing, they weren't booing Andy Dalton. They were booing the position that we were in. But all of a sudden now, you've got hope. You got Justin Fields. You drafted what you believe is your left tackle for the next 6, 7, 8 years. So, again, I just go back to, with that defense, I've got some pieces. I think David Montgomery's going to have a huge year as a third-year guy. I think they're going to be better on the O-line, so they're going to run the football more. I think that team, are they a 13-4 team? No. But they might be 10-7. That might get me in the playoffs. And if it doesn't, then I hand the keys to Justin. I go, folks, we're all in. We're going to develop the kid. But take a shot first to try and win.
Cap, what are you putting the percentages at that in a few, a handful of years that we're going to Arlington Heights to see these home games rather than down in the city?
When I first heard the rumor, I thought there's a better chance that they stay at Soldier Field. But then they signed this deal with the people that own Bet Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the official sportsbook partner of the Chicago Bears. Well, the people that are the majority owner of Bet Rivers, it's Churchill Downs Incorporated. And Churchill Downs owns Arlington Park.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, there's this path to, hey, let's work together here and help each other, and we'll see if we can get you a new stadium. So I would not want to be in Lori Lightfoot's shoes right now.
Going back to this, I can't let it go, Cap. Back to football. How much faith do you really have in Coach Nagy as the quarterback developer? Because the reality is he was a glorified title-only offensive coordinator. In fact, the game he called plays supposedly, and he forgot that he had the leading rusher in the whole NFL. Then he comes to Chicago, breaks a 100-year record, only runs the ball 7 times in a game. Forgets he couldn't figure out how to use Jordan Howard the right way. Didn't realize his identity in year 3. So his focus obviously this is his pick, Justin Fields, but to alleviate a competition in your teaching and what you're doing offensively, I think is a recipe for disaster when it comes to being a coach on the Chicago Bears, because how are you going to develop them if they don't? You tried this with bubble wrap before with your offense. Now you're going to go out to LA and you're not going to have that competition. To me, I think it's a mistake. I can't let go of it because I've seen no development whatsoever when it comes to the Chicago Bears offense. I don't know what it is. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, Mitch Trubisky was a shitty quarterback. I mean, it's really like I feel like
Kaplan, you're turning on our guy. Cap, what are you doing?
Hold on a second, Brad. Let's just be honest here. I love Brad. He's a great kid. I loved his competitiveness. I love that his teammates, like I asked Kyle Long, not on the air, when Kyle Long and I were hanging out one day. Tell me about Mitch. He goes, dude, he's the best. It's just not going to work here. He doesn't have a ton of weapons. It's kind of sailed. Look, he's a backup in fucking Buffalo for a reason. Now, could he end up becoming a good player? Yeah, maybe Brian Daboll knows how to unlock something that Matt didn't, but I wouldn't bet my frickin' mortgage on it.
Cap, 31 other teams had a chance to sign the guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he signed in Buffalo for $2.5 million. Chase Daniels never signed for something that low.
Yeah,
it says a lot.
Yeah, and again, Mitch is a great kid. I truly believe Mitch has a chance to kind of resurrect himself there, play behind Josh Allen and on a really good team. And if heaven forbid they have a serious injury there, well, he's got a really good team around him, way better team than we've ever supported him with. So it didn't work. We move on. It doesn't mean I don't like the kid. I like the kid. I love his work ethic. I think he's a wonderful human being. He was horseshit as our quarterback.
Well, and I was just busting your chops. Don't get it twisted. There definitely was it was time for change in Chicago. There was no question about that. And Justin Fields is a totally different echelon, totally different stratosphere than what Mitchell Trubisky. This was the reverse Deshaun Watson, where the Bears passed on a guy that was in multiple national championships. We now have that guy that has played in national championships, played on a big-time college level. So I completely agree with you across the board. But, you know, that to me, it's just about, 100% Mitch did not cut the bill. But as Phil has pointed out, Matt Nagy still has a lot to learn in this league. And I think there's a lot of people out there that want to give him the benefit of the doubt because of how inept Mitchell Trubisky was. And I just think there are still enough signs there to tell you that Matt Nagy still has a lot to prove to Chicago Bears fans. When you're running on 3rd and 1 to the short side of the field with Cordero Patterson, not once, but multiple times in the same league, there's gonna be 3rd and 1s with Justin Fields. You got to call the right plays. You got to have balance. And that's where I get a little like, hey, let's not put it all on Mitch for all the woes of the last 2 years. Matt Nagy, it's still on him to get this thing right now that he does have all the tools that he chose to put in the cabinet.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with what you're saying there. But again, you could scream from the heavens that Matt this, Matt that. He ain't going anywhere. So I got to let him do his job the way he deems best. And if it turns out that Justin Fields sucks, Matt's going to be out. And he understands that, and he's comfortable with that. You got to let him do his job the way he deems best. Now, if we go to camp and Andy Dalton is pathetic, well, then all the bets are off. But I don't think he's going to be pathetic.
Right,
the guy's a competent NFL quarterback. He's not our future. He understands that. From what I'm hearing, he's been amazing with Justin Fields, trying to help him understand what it means to be a professional quarterback as opposed to a college quarterback. It's just different. Your whole life is different. The way you conduct yourself, the way you treat people, everything is magnified times 1,000. And he was in a big time program at Ohio State. So I got to it's like when Ryan got retained. I kept hearing people go, you can't let him pick your next quarterback. Then you can't let him be your GM. And once they decided he's staying as the general manager, We can bitch and moan all we want. Well, he failed on his quarterbacks. He did. But if the owners are keeping him, then you got to let him do his job. You can't. You're the GM, but I'm not letting you pick the quarterback. Well, then you're not the GM.
Exactly. Now, when you look at how confident are you, Cap, on the other side of the ball with the transition for Pagano to Sean Desai? Again, the charter franchise hiring and putting these coaches that have never been coordinators or head coaches in positions like this. How concerned are you with Sean Desai, or is he the big, maybe in this defense because of who he's learned under in regards to this
defense? Let me ask you a question. If you could go back 2 years ago,
yes,
would you keep Brandon Staley as your DC?
Yeah, they let him out of the building, Cap.
Okay, so what if they had done that with Sean Desai and let him out of the building and he goes on to be a beast and you go, what the fuck, man? We had him in the building too. We didn't know it. So I'm all for if the players like him, if they believe in him, who am I going to go hire? Wade Phillips at 75? No. I'll take a shot. I don't know Sean Desai from Bob Desai. I have no idea if he's going to be any good. But the players I've asked, they love the guy. So let's find out.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting.
Cap, who do you think has more juice in this organization between Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace?
I think it's pretty equal. I do. I think if they end up firing Ryan, they're going to fire Matt.
Yep.
Wow.
I think these guys are in lockstep. I really do. I keep hearing they have an amazing relationship. So if that's the case, then great. Because the truth of the matter is, and I know Phil and I have talked about this, when they ended up drafting Mitchell Trubisky, and John Fox told me this to my face at Waddle's Super Bowl party. I said, when did you find out you were getting Mitch? 2 hours before the draft, Ryan walked up to me and said, hey, just letting you know I made a trade. We're taking Mitchell Trubisky. What?
Oh, my
God.
God.
Because Ryan, and I understand it, Foxy wanted Jamal Adams. That's who he wanted. And he's a really good football player. Ryan knew, I got to change the quarterback room. The quarterback room sucks. I got to get the black cloud known as Jay Cutler out of here. And so he completely cleans out the quarterback room, but he had no one he could trust to give him feedback to evaluate quarterbacks. Foxy's not a quarterback guy. Right. Dowell Loggins ain't a really astute quarterback guy. So Ryan and maybe one of his lieutenants, that was it. No one else knew. Now, hey, man, my head coach is in lockstep. This is the guy he likes. Let's do the homework. And in the end, that was the guy they settled on. So, again, if it works, they're geniuses. If it doesn't work, they're both going to be looking for jobs.
Go ahead.
One question I wanted to ask you is about the dude up north. We've heard from Rob Domofsky saying that, his chances of returning as a Green Bay Packer, he doesn't put them very well. Now, maybe that's changed here in the last, couple months now that things have kind of settled down. But where are your thoughts with this dude? Is he going to be the host of Jeopardy, or is he going to be the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers? I'm really hoping it's the first, but what are your thoughts on it? Because you're a well-connected guy here in Chicago sports media.
So we're going to know by Friday, because the new COVID agreement is you can opt out of the 2021 season, but you must make that decision by Friday, July 2nd. And it's irrevocable. Once you turn in the paperwork, I'm opting out. They cannot claw back the signing bonus, which if he just doesn't show, they can. So if he says, yeah, I'm opting out of the season, then he's not going to play for Green Bay. He's keeping the majority of his money, but he can't wake up August 28th and go, yeah, that was a stupid decision. I'm playing. Nope, you're done for the year. So we'll get a lot of, if he doesn't opt out, then I think it tells you he really wants to play. He's trying to pressure them into a trade, and I don't see a trade coming.
Interesting. I mean, we look at that changes the whole dynamic of the division as you, turn these these things over and look at them on paper. You got Detroit with Jared Goff, the Chicago Bears, Andy Dalton, Justin Fields, as we talked about. Aaron Rodgers could be gone, and Kirk, I never show up, Cousins is in Minnesota. Now all of a sudden the Chicago Bears, if this is played right, possibly have the best quarterback situation in the division. Possibly, it's undoubtedly in my mind. Now it becomes the responsibility of the number one thing in this franchise. And I keep going back to it. It's Matt Nagy. So if Matt Nagy is able to get into camp and really throw this offense out there, how much do you believe Justin Fields will be seeing the field in preseason when I set the deck like that?
Oh, I think he's going to see some time.
Okay.
This is all about whatever the best thing is to develop Justin Fields.
Okay.
If that's Justin, we're locking you in a conference room and you're going to be on Zoom for the next 8 months, which I'm being facetious. They're going to do whatever it takes that at the end of the season, whether we go 0-17, 17-0, win the Super Bowl, the bottom line is at the end of the season, is Justin Fields developed now and ready to play in 2022 and beyond and be a franchise quarterback for the first time in our lifetime. Whatever that is, if that's, oh my God, Andy Dalton got hurt in training camp and Justin Fields is starting, Andy Dalton showed up and, oh my God, he had a leg amputated. He can't play. Whatever that is, all I care about is at the end of the year. It's like when you're on a crappy team. At the end of the year, if you didn't win a championship, you better know what is on your roster.
Right.
You better understand who you have on your roster. And so for this, the most important thing they do is not, oh, we squeaked out 10 wins and we got knocked out in the wild card. Oh, we went 6-11. I don't care. Is Justin Fields ready when 2022 kicks off? That's his team. That's the only thing that matters. Because if the answer is he's not ready, then it was a bad draft pick.
Cap, playing off of that point with his development and looking at 2022, what are you putting the percentages at of Allen Robinson signing a long-term contract to give some continuity to this wide receiver core? I mean, if he bounces after this season, you have Darnell Mooney, but you can't. He'd essentially be thrust into that number one role, and that becomes a huge need. Do you think that that's something that they're working on, or do you think that they're going to just roll with this tag?
I think they're rolling with the tag, and then they'll see who's going to be a free agent next season. I don't think they're thinking about it because I don't think Allen's budged off his number, and I don't think Ryan's budged off his number, and there's not, this plethora of cap space. I wouldn't be shocked if Allen Robinson's out of here after this year. He's a really, really good football player. But is he a top 5 wide receiver?
Nope.
I do not believe he is. He doesn't possess breakaway speed. He's a great guy. He works incredibly hard. He's great in the community. He's a top 12 receiver. They're not paying him $20 million a year, and that's what he's asking for.
Great points here, Cap. Cap is out there. Doing his thing, working in his garage, jumping on Brags in the Stands live here. We are live from me and Shayne aren't. We're in our homes, but Greg is live out there in Indiana at Catch 22. Doing it for the people, Greg. I'm passing it to you. That's what I'm trying to help pass the mic here.
We're doing a bit of a juggling act, and Cap, I appreciate how patient you were while we were going through this stuff, and Shayne's helping me out, kind of pull up the pictures and the comments. Everybody's so excited to see you, and I don't want to take up too much of your day. I know you got stuff to get done, and I do want to wish you a happy anniversary. And I also want to, I also just want to speak on the fact that how good of a friend you are. I know Phil and Shayne have hijacked you as your new best friends, but I have always appreciated the friendship and mentorship you've shown me. I mean, you texted me the other day while I was going through some things with my dog, and for everybody that thinks, I kind of get the same thing where people act like you do things for attention, and I've always resented that when it comes to you, because you're a guy that would give your shirt off someone, the shirt off your back for someone, and that would be with nobody knowing you did it. Exactly. And, you know, I could come up with a million examples of that. When you called me when I was doing the call for the state championship in the morning to wish me good luck. Those are the little things that I appreciate so much about you. You don't forget where you came from, and you're somebody I look up to greatly. And for you to come on here today while we're trying to get our ducks in a row, as Johnny B would say, you know, that means a lot to me. And we're certainly looking forward to hanging out with you here soon. I know you were at the Cubs game recently. Maybe we'll have to catch a Cubs game one of these days, because I look forward to shaking your hand once again. It's been since the walk. It's
going out to dinner when Stephanie, Shayne, myself, and the Braggs family with Kaplan, we're going out to dinner that Saturday. I think it's October 16th, Cap. You're the busiest man in all of broadcasting. He's a Hall of Famer, and he is everything that Greg is saying and more. You talk about class, compassion in a world full of so much ignorance. David Kaplan, I'm not just saying this, I've said it on the show without him on here, and I say it again, as a human being, he stands up. He's not snoity-toity like half of these people are. David Kaplan cares about people. And that's the reality of why Shayne and I love the guy. The 100 Crew fans are strong. I see him today on a Saturday in the afternoon just showing up. Lady Bear, Bellissimo, Coach Trey, Detlef over in Germany, Matt Mishlansky, Logan Frost in the Philippines. They're all checking in to see Cap because they love Cap, because Cap gives back. And I know he's working hard in his garage, organizing it and juggling many things, but that's who the man is. And my wife and I sat down, and I wrote Cap a handwritten letter and sent it to him, because there's not many people like this, Greg. And I always say it on the show, is Greg Braggs, my boy, who told me, no, Phil, Cap is not like that. He's a great man. And to be out here and support Greg and us and everything is unbelievable showcase of what you guys do, and especially you, Cap, what you do. And we can't thank you enough for jumping on here on a Saturday on the night of before your anniversary. How many years? 17? We're going on 10.
17 years, and they said it wouldn't last. So here we are.
Yes. Do you remember your wedding song?
I don't have a fucking clue.
Cut that out of the show.
Well, I can say, just jumping real quick here, I listen to Cap all the time on the radio. He doesn't know me. We've never met. And there's something that he has that is very rare. It's called passion and compassion, like you just said. Those two things, you put those together, and that's the real deal, baby. You know, it's going to rub some people the wrong way if they don't agree, but you know what? Last I checked, this is America. We don't all have to agree. So that's one thing I like about Cap, listening to him on the radio. Passion and compassion. Just a man of the community, and it's just good to see as an outsider to feel the things that you guys are saying, knowing him.
Appreciate you guys. Killing it. Telling Mac is the man, and you guys have a wonderful show, and I look forward to that dinner in October.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Cap.
The best, Cap.
I'm going to teach Phil what real pizza is.
You got to try the New Haven first.
I'm going out to Connecticut in November to see my Boilermakers play North Carolina, and I'm going to be staying at his house. So I'm going to find out what his pizza's about. We'll bring him here and show him what the pizza's all about here, and we'll settle this once and for all.
I love all pizzas. I don't know why we're arguing. I love all pizzas. Give me the dough, give me the cheese, give me the sauce.
Once you taste a New Haven pizza, then you're like, oh, yeah. So this dude from Delaware, one of our fans of our show, came up to Connecticut, went to Moderna Pizza, texted me from there, and was like, bro, you ain't lying. And that's the reality. So I wanted to get Cap there when he was in Norwalk broadcasting. I'm going to get him there no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
My treat. I love Cap, just like Lady Bear right there loves Cap. Everybody at our network loves you, Cap. You know, and before we let you go, your wife, thank her from us for allowing you the time. I know what it is to have a supportive wife. There's nothing better than that.
Yeah, it's the greatest.
So happy anniversary to you and yours, and we'll see you soon. I'm trying to just let people know, if I see some BS about David Kaplan, I go all in to defend him, because
You're the best. I love you.
All right, brother. You
All right,
have the best.
Have a great show, boys.
Thanks, Cap.
Thanks, Cap.
See you guys.
See
David Kaplan.
That's right. That is David Kaplan.
Yeah.
That is the man of the people. The man.
Greg, I normally would have just let you deal with that, but because you can hear me echo. Everybody in the audience is like, Phil's got an echo. So we have to mute you when I talk and Shayne talk.
We're doing a bit of a juggling act, but hey, when this is the first of the first of many
I'm good at juggling.
The first of many live shows, and we're here live at Catch Table and Tap. Here, I'll turn the camera on so you can kind of get an idea of what the atmosphere is.
Look at this girl.
Yeah.
There's Chris.
We might have to bring some of these fans on the show. Look at it.
We got a lot. We got a lot going on here at Catch Table and Tap. Jim McMahon's inside signing autographs for everybody. But this is the first of many live events I'm going to be doing with the Collector's Cave, a memorabilia company located from the region here in Indiana. We're in Merrillville, Indiana on US 30 right now. And they've got so many signings coming up in a month. They got a Dan Hampton signing that's going to be going down in New Buffalo, Michigan. And we plan on doing this exact same kind of a live event. Phil and Shayne are obviously always welcome, especially when it comes to Bears, but they have many other sports that they're going to be doing. Scott Podsednik, a lot of White Sox, wrestling, everything across the board. I can't give away some of the names until they lock down some of them, but even movie stars and everything else. So we plan on being a part of a lot of these live events. And, for Phil and Shayne, I've always said this a million times, and they've always reciprocated with me, but they're always welcome on Brags in the stands, because, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing here today if it wasn't for Draft Dr. Phil, my good friend Phil Ottochian. He was the one that reached out to me and was like, can you come on my podcast? And I was like, nobody listens to this shit. What are you talking about? And sure enough, nobody listens to me, but everybody listens to Phil. So, I had to learn that this is actually a worthwhile event.
But he has no panic. You see the calmness that he
That came through pre-show, Johnny. That came through pre-show. I thought he was having an aneurysm.
That's just a professional, though. He gets it all out of the way.
I'm panicked.
The light starts flashing, and then the guy's all money.
Yeah, I get right into mode. But you know what? It's easy to be calm, cool, and collected when you two are sitting in your cushy houses. We're out here in the elements. We got our guy Alex Acevedo here, our tech man here, and it's raining and windy. We're trying to hold down the tent. It almost blew away during the middle of the interview.
I'm only here because Phil told me to be here.
That's the first time I haven't seen smoke rolling off his shoulder.
I love these guys. That's so high. We're finding some audio issues. We got a screen store. We can hear us. But next time we'll have it all lined up, ducks in a row.
Exactly.
Ducks in a row.
Line up.
Get our ducks in a row. And Cherie, Lady Bear, is in the chat. She's not helping. She helps you guys. She won't help Brags in the stands, but that's okay. Our friend,
how much is
the guy on the show? I know. Who is this guy? Well, this guy, if I didn't properly introduce him to start the show, is my co-host for Brags in the Stands, Johnny B. And he's a man that wears many hats on our show. He does Johnny B for 3, a gambling segment, mostly during the NFL season, but he's a gambling connoisseur across the board, makes many trips to Vegas. He's also, a diehard White Sox fan, but what he's most known for is being a fanatical Kansas City Chiefs fan. And, he just fits perfectly into what I do at my show, because it's all about the fans in the stands. This guy drives to every single Kansas City Chiefs home game. He's been to he was in the stands for the last 2 Super Bowls. He's as passionate, energetic, and, charismatic sports fan as you're going to find. He does these duck races that have become wildly popular on Twitter, where he does a lot of fun giveaways, and he has these rubber ducks go down a creek and people win prizes. Go ahead, Johnny.
Let's just talk about that, because right now at this very event, I have 2 rubber ducks that are being signed by the legend, Punky QB, Jim McMahon. And we're going to put that with some signed memorabilia. We're going to do a Bears Legends duck race here on Brad's in the Stands in the near future, and you're going to be able to win those prizes.
We got to have a
memorabilia.
Johnny, we got a couple of questions for you in the chat, though. They want to know, how does it feel to have the second most talented quarterback in the NFL now that Justin Fields is the Bear?
Well, you know what? It feels great. I got a lot of haters now since Mahomes was drafted, and you know it's all good. We've been to 3 straight AFC Championship games. It feels great. I hope you guys make the NFC Championship games. It's no sweat on me. I'm a football fan, and I'm rooting for Justin Fields. I was a big fan of his, and I'm just going to say that he's going off on your local sports books at about 8 or 10 to 1 for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Whether Cap's right, whether I'm right, when he gets in the game, you can get him at 8 or 10 to 1 to win Offensive Player of the Year. Let's say he gets in by week 3, week 4. I think he still has a chance to win that award. So check your local sports books.
So there's the gambling man there.
I was up 7 units last night, just saying.
And there's a lot of symmetry with Johnny B, with the Chiefs and the Bears. You know, at first it was trying to figure out how he would fit in, because obviously Brags and Stands, a very Chicago sports-centric show, but he's from Northwest Indiana, so he's no stranger to Chicago sports across the board, including the Bears. But there is a lot of symmetry with the Chiefs and the Chicago Bears when you consider Matt Nagy coming over from Kansas City. They're trying to run that offense. You know, a little bit of a square peg round hole when they talk about the pieces they have with Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill and, of course, Patrick Mahomes. But slowly but surely, maybe the Bears are piecing it together. You know, Johnny B and I were able to get Mitch Holthus, the voice of the Chiefs, to come on, and Johnny B did an incredible job with the interview with them. And Mitch Holthus promised that Matt Nagy was going to get this right. Supremely confident. You know, and these are guys, including Johnny B, who have been up close and personal, go to training camp, go to the games, and see how these guys work day to day. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes forward. We even plucked a defensive lineman from the Kansas City Chiefs.
Damian Williams, man, their star running back in Super Bowl 54. I mean, I was
probably should have been the MVP.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, obviously he should have been, and if he would have been, I would have made some serious cash, because I had him. I had him, I had Mahomes, and I had Sammy Watkins. I just took some underdogs, but yeah, I didn't win that bet, but you know, I won a lot of other bets on that Super Bowl. He probably should have been the MVP.
Because we have a lot of Bears fans in the chat. Why don't you tell them about, obviously
tomorrow,
Damian Williams.
Greg, while you say that, Shayne, what we need to do is when you and I are talking, just mute Greg. There you go. This way, it's still coming out the speaker over there, though, right, Greg? Just thumbs up it. So there you go. Tomorrow on our Tape Never Lies showcase patron side, www.thetapeneverlies.com, me, my dad, and Bearlissimo are going to be breaking down the guy that Johnny B is going to talk about right now. That's Mike Pennel, a defensive tackle, nose guard, especially. I wanted to get into it with Cap, what he thought with Eddie Goldman and the situation that's going on with him, Shayne, Eddie. We, Shayne, on this network are wondering, does Eddie love the game? Now, there's promises. The guy, Bill Zimmerman of Sirius on Twitter, it has assured through his source that Eddie's going to be at camp. Matt Nagy believes it is as much, and so did Danny T. But still, Shayne, you feel, though, in your heart, you got to worry about Eddie Goldman's commitment to the game. Thus, just in the context of him not going and Matt saying those things, a signing took place 24 hours later. It was former Chief, former Packer, former Jet. This guy's been around, but Mike has some, I keep calling you Mike. Johnny B has some stuff on Mike Pennel. We're going to break down his all 22 tomorrow, Greg. So I know you're a big patron supporter. So we'll be live there.
Listen, when you're buying shuffleboards and hot tubs and you're trying to get all your jerseys framed, The money is tight in the Braggs residence. You know, come on, you can throw a little patron love my way too. I haven't even gotten a shirt from you.
Greg is trying to get he's trying to get his shine, Phil, but you know that we're always here to put him back in his place.
Yeah.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
He's bringing it all back.
This is what happens when you give Shayne access to your StreamYard account. Now all hell breaks loose. You know, I told him they could go in it to load, you know, video and pictures that Phil normally does, and Shayne, they do such a great job of production at the Tape Never Lies Network, and this is the crap that he loads into the brand so we can all have some hearty laughs. But that's
come up to the camera, Greg. It's gone.
Hey, I'm clean. I'm clean now, baby.
He didn't really lose weight. He just popped that thing.
No, he lost some weight. He looks great. I'm being honest here. I'm throwing you some compliments. You've been through a lot, Greg, this last week. Let's just talk about that. Actually, I want Johnny B's take on Mike Pennell, but I got to give some perspective to you, the fan listening in here, whether you're there live or whether you're watching all over the world. We have people tuning in today. This is amazing. Greg Braggs is a friend. He's everything he said about Kaplan, he could be talking about himself. He takes a lot of jokes from me and Shayne. And if you know us, we love to play jokes and talk a little smack on people we actually truly deeply love, because that's what it's about. That's what life is about. If you're not laughing, you're not living. And let's just say this, what Greg has had to deal with to get to this point with Johnny B and Alex there has been so difficult. He had to put down his dog, his lifetime best friend. I mean, to do that, be there, juggle all these things says a lot about him, the person, the friend, and the professional. So people could say whatever it is they want, but to do that on top of having to move and go into a new house, that alone is one of the most difficult, most stressful. So to see Greg dealing with all the technical difficulties and Johnny and Alex trying to help out, Greg, I got to give you some love. You know, what you've dealt with to get to this point. Don't worry about the technical stuff. Everybody's here. Our condolences to you. Our love to you. And this is amazing. I got to keep it 100.
Hey, I appreciate it. You know, it takes a village, and, you know, everybody's been there for me across the board. And, you know, there's a lot of ugliness on social media, but I've always tried to find the bright side on it. And there's a lot of people that give out, you know, have been giving out, you know, nice words to me and kind thoughts. It has been a tough week. You know, Bailey putting him down on Wednesday was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life, but I had to do it. And then, you know, moving into our house yesterday in the monsoon, it was literally monsooning while all our furniture is being delivered. I had to help carry a lot of furniture in, and it's been a lot, but at the same time, maybe helpful doing the show today. It's been a lot of adrenaline to try to get through this stuff and maybe take my mind off of some of the things. You know, everybody's had a dog. That anybody that's owned a dog has eventually had to put him down. That's a part of life. And I was lucky to have raised them for 15 years. And now I have my beautiful daughter, Addison, who's sitting over there. She just turned 3. And, you know, like I said, when I wrote his tribute, you know, if I can honor him in any way, it's to give my daughter the unconditional love that my dog gave me. Because, you know, that's what life's all about. You got to go through the tough times if you're going to have the good. You know, my neighbor said, my neighbor Bosco, he told me, you know, his dad told him, he's, you know, a guy from overseas, and he was like, you know, my dad told me once, you know, if you go through life too long without something bad happening to you, you're not living life right. You got to have trials and tribulations. He's like, so if you go a long stretch where you just keep getting all this good luck and all this good fortune, he's like, put a pebble in your shoe for a week just to keep you on your toes. He's like, that's what my dad taught me. And it was kind of a funny sentiment, but I actually appreciated his words in that way. It resonated with me because, you know, it's always it's always coming up roses at the Braggs residence. I always try to be positive, but life's gonna throw some curveballs your way, and you got to learn to hit them sometimes.
Let's do this right now. This is a surprise I have for Greg for a little housewarming gift. So let's do this now. This seems like
we're gonna do it live. Let's see his face.
He has no idea. There's
all right.
Oh my God, this could be. Is this something I'm thinking it's gonna be?
Hey, look at that, dude, right there. Little house.
Look at that.
There's one more too.
It wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
How'd they make out last night?
I don't know. They ended too late. Oh man, shoot! Look at this guy right here, Ron Santo.
Autograph.
Who is that?
Ron Santo.
So just a couple of things.
I have no idea who that is.
An early housewarming gift for the man cave since Greg has the new house. I just wanted to do that live. A couple little Cubs things. I know this is a football and a Bears day, but I've been kind of saving it, and I figured we'd do it live today.
I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah,
Johnny B's a great friend. When I started this venture off on my own, and I kicked Phil and Shayne to the curb. No, I'm kidding. Johnny B was there for me. We started it as a gambling segment because he is such a strong gambler, and his segments were amazing. And it just built more and more, and he's such a great fit with this show because he brings energy, charisma. He can hold his own in the Lions Den here with me, you, and Shayne, Phil. It's not easy to get a word in edgewise with us sometimes, but he holds his own, and that's why I love him as a brother. And we were neighbors. That's how we met at my previous house, and now we've formed a brotherhood. And I wouldn't, Braggs in the Stands wouldn't be half of what it is without my guy Johnny B. So honestly, I appreciate you in a big way, and of course, my guy Jake, who is tending to his newborn baby boy. He's the one that made a lot of the nameplates.
Hey, Jake, I got a newborn.
I don't see any.
I'm on air, Jake.
I got your nameplates. I don't see any nameplates. You got it, dude.
Let's see these plates.
All right, here, we'll do a one at a time.
One-on-one on Shayne. Oh, there we go with me. Where's my nameplate, Shayne?
Oh, let me grab it.
Let's see what's Greg has.
They don't have anything sorted out like we do on TTNL, Phil.
Oh, it's very confusing.
Yeah,
there it is.
Oh, look, they even have your non-Twitter name on there.
I'm not even on Twitter.
Great job, Jake.
Thanks, Jake from State Farm. You better pay your insurance bill. It's
But Phil,
I am on
Phil, we were talking a little bit pre-show.
Yes.
And one thing that Greg did, he mentioned,
you got to
social media
image here.
Social media being a toxic place and stuff like that. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. There we go.
There we go.
But one thing that Greg said about,
some of us have to learn the StreamYards, that we don't have all these people working behind the scenes, sir.
But like Greg said, Phil, to us privately before the show, social media is much better since Mike Brez has been fucking kicked to the curb. Greg said that pre-show, and we all agree, Greg. I thought that was the quote of the pre-show that you said. Ever since Mike Brez was kicked to the fucking curb, social media is much better. So that was a great quote by you pre-show, Greg.
Greg, you are honestly very, very articulate. You're open-minded, and you see the field. You see the field. If you were a quarterback, you would see the field very well. You know how to play the field and see the field. That's how you found Jenny. Congratulations to you and Jenny on the new house. As everything gets together, the Braggs family, the housewarming gifts are going live on the show. It's been a tough week for Greg, but he has pulled through as he always does. And it's setting up for something special, I think, for the Chicago Bears with everything that Greg has had to deal with. I hope they don't ban Greg from training camp. That's the thing. We got to find a way to get him in there.
Well, I was the one, I played, I'm a bricklayer. I'm a bricklayer by day, but I play reporter by night, and I had some sources. They don't give me too much information because I got a big mouth, so they wouldn't give me the QB news last year coming out of camp, but they did my sources did tell me that they were going to allow fans into Hallis Hall, and then the Bears confirmed that a few weeks later. It's going to be very minimal, nothing like Bourbonnais. The way it was put to me is that it would be very intimate. So that scares me as far as the amount of fans. Yeah,
I know what it means in the bedroom. I'll tell you that.
Well, intimate is now what Barb and I have now. Greg and Jenny moved out.
Barb, you should have seen her face.
Hi, Barb.
Barb, there she is.
We're gonna. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Yes, we have Chris Gonzalez in the audience.
Gonzalez is there?
Yeah, we got Chris
Bring
Gonzalez.
him up to the camera. Where is he?
He's eating.
He's holding a rib up, or
He can't come out here. He's wired probably.
Chicken wing. He's
got a burger.
So what's the big food there at Catch 22? What are they famous for?
They got burgers. It's
it's Northwest Indiana, South Side, bar food. Everything looks good. I saw the chicken fingers. I saw the burger.
I had a buffalo chicken wrap the other day while we were planning some stuff. That was very good. Chris is eating a burger. My wife had a salad. The breadsticks I saw earlier, they had them like cut and then like cheese poured in the middle. Those look very good.
The drinks are flowing like the Nile. I mean, you got food, you got drinks, you got sports, you got the best sport in the world, NFL football. What more do you need than that, baby? Let's go.
The Chicago Bears. You got Jim McMahon up in the house, autographing. Fans are all up in there, Jim. With Jim, right, Greg?
Yeah, there's been a steady line, inside the restaurant, outside, and they're just waiting to get their chance to take that photo, get that autograph on the jersey, the photo, whatever they like.
Well, what I want to do, too, because I just saw my good friend popped in backstage, so I want to bring him into the fold here. And I've been doing a lot of crossover work with him as well. And this is my guy, Trey Tunes. This is a man that is extremely talented, Phil and Shayne and Johnny B. I don't know if you've had a chance to meet him yet. We've done a few crossover shows. He has his own show live on Twitch Monday through Fridays, and it's one of the most entertaining things that I've come across because I'll come in at lunchtime, and he just lets the show come to him. This is what you guys, Shayne and Phil, could appreciate about him. He has no plan when he goes live. He hits live.
Bring him on our show.
Not only that, but he lets the chat dictate what the show is talking about. So you can literally go anywhere with it. And sometimes it can get extremely raunchy. It can get extremely crazy. There's very triggered people in his chat, and it's very entertaining because it's not sports. It's just conversation, and the chat dictates what the show is all about. And Trey is kind of the leader of this circus, and he's steady as water all day long. He's like and it's pretty amazing to watch him go at it because you know how I am. I get nervous. I want everything lined up and scheduled, and he just lets the show come to him. And so this is my good friend here, Trey Tunes, my Trey guy, but they call him Trey Tunes. Trey, this is my co-host, Johnny B, of course, who you've met on the show a few times. And then to the top left corner, this is Draft Dr. Phil Ottochian from the Tape Never Lies Network. And then at the bottom underneath Phil is Shayne Marsaw, the smartest man at the Tape Never Lies Network. And they've been doing this Bears podcasting, now to video, whatever you want to call it, for a long time. And they're great at what they do. So wanted to give you guys the proper introduction. As my good friends Kyle and Ashley leave, thank you for coming, Kyle and Ashley. I love you guys.
There you go. I'm making out. Kyle and Ashley.
Phil, I looked in the green room here a couple of minutes ago, and I'm like, look at fucking Bragg stepping up. He got fucking Warren Sapp on the show. Trey. I'm like, holy shit.
Trey Tunes playing that great technique.
Warren, that's the first time I heard that one, but hey, it's kind of like, yeah. You know, he's got some crazy eyes, right? You know, he's like, oh man. You know, his eyes are like always wide open.
Tell us about the strip clubs in Tampa Bay, Warren.
I had the pleasure of meeting Warren. I wasn't a big fan. I got to keep it 100 with you. The guy took my Bears hat right off my head while I was standing, stomped on it in a bar. And I'm like, I don't even know who this dude is. And it's Warren Sapp. And I'm like, oh my God. And he had no apologies, no nothing. I was like, okay, I guess you don't like the Bears. You know who was good though? Kerry Collins, former Giant quarterback. Like, yo, pick that shit up. Warren ended up picking it up. Like it was crazy. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. Right. How you doing, Trey? Finally, nice to meet you. Greg has told me all about you and what you do for the show. What's your feelings though as the Bears get ready to kick off with the Justin Fields draft pick, and now obviously everybody talking about the quarterback position in Chicago, and Matt Nagy's not doing anything to help the situation. It's just all confusing now. So where's your feelings on Justin Fields and the quarterback position?
Man, with Justin Fields, when it was announced that he was coming in, it was a complete 180. And I know if you know that scene from Dumb and Dumber when they said, just when I thought you couldn't be any dumber, you go and do something like this and totally redeem yourself. So it's like, that's how I felt. I was just like, well, let the past be the past. Like I was just like, let it all go. I'm ready to move forward. I'm all in again. And then that's all it took was this. And because you felt like they did the right thing. Like, even if it doesn't turn out great, which it probably will, and you kind of got that feeling that it definitely will, but at least they made the right move. They collaborated, I guess, whatever they said they're going to do. And I'm like really excited. But yeah, Matt Nagy's not doing himself any favors with kind of constricting himself. Like why make the statement to say that Justin Fields can not win the job? I mean, just be quiet. I mean, yeah. I mean,
let the competition begin. I mean, that's what you should do as a coach. And that's what I've been raised as a coach to do. I just think competition breeds success. So to open that up and get away from any kind of questions and allow football to make those decisions. Again, we have a t-shirt that we've built on our network, performance over politics. A lot of times politics with the Chicago Bears, yes, has entered the building, and they allow what draft selection or how their salary is set up to define how they're going to play. They don't let the best man win. They don't let that happen. And that's historically been an issue from, the time Wanstead took over for Ditka, then to Geron, Lovey, and so on and so forth. We haven't seen the culture built where football decides the answer. It has always been politics. And really, I was so excited, Trey, when they drafted Justin Fields. Obviously, our network has been all over it through drafts. Greg was on the show with us when we drafted Tevin Jenkins, and the excitement in the room was immense. I mean, I don't think I've ever been that excited.
Give me a tackle or give me death.
Give me a tackle or give me death. I had it queued up, but I can't play it for you guys. But the reality is, I'm worried once Nagy hit that podium the other day as they, leave for the summer. And that whole exchange began to happen when Sylvie asked him those questions. Yeah. I completely left saying, oh, here we go. I'm buckling my seatbelt. Here goes Matt Nagy. He's going to negativity this thing. It's going to be confusing. There's going to be situations. And it really just can't get to the point where the simplest answer is the answer you roll with. Are you there with me?
Yeah, it's like, he's good with the word salad and everything. And he's like, but then it's like you said, like he gets in his own way. He's his own worst enemy sometimes. And, is that Addie?
There's Addie.
There she is.
Look at her. Thank God she got all her mother's love.
Say hi, guys.
Greg, how did you have a daughter that cute?
Look at you, Addy.
Are you gonna look at the camera? They're
Now, what's
talking
your
to you.
favorite show, Addy? Is it Paw Patrol?
Phil, does she look like the mailman, or is it just me?
Oh, come on. Greg's had a tough week. Moving sucks. Everybody knows it. Of course it's not the mailman.
Well, Shayne's a mailman.
Shayne is a mailman.
And he's an asshole, and he's trying to make jokes. Earmuffs.
Oh, right.
There you go. Look at that. You're bringing your daughter on there. Addison Braggs.
Say what's up. Look at the camera and say what's up.
She's just showing tongue, Greg. I'm kind of worried.
How old are you? How old are you? Put your hands up. How old are you? 3
years old.
Yeah. She has trouble getting that third finger up.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Across.
So, how did you pack a cover three defense? Talk about it.
She ran off. She's running routes
She quickly said, run the ball. You got Montgomery. You got the Super Bowl hero Williams. Run the ball with the new offensive line. Set up the play action pass. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, this coach trying to find his identity week 11 for the last 3 years. I'm praying he learned from the bubble wrap season. But now we're getting into this as we prepare ourselves for the Matt Nagy selection of Justin Fields. They've moved on from Charles, softest puppy, you know what, Leno, and they're getting to the point where maybe Greg can help out this situation if he's got Nagy's ear like you see right here. That Coach Nagy can understand David Montgomery is your identity. That's where running the football, getting these young guys to get after it, use what Ryan Pace was able to draft, Tevin Jenkins, Larry Bourne, you got a Fetty. How you settle that center position is going to be interesting. How you're going to line up Whitehair and Daniels. Are they going to be left guard, right guard? Is Sam Mustipher going to be the center? So you got a lot of questions along the offensive line. Jim McMahon could tell you how important those hogs are. My guy right there, Tevin Jenkins at left tackle. You've created an attitude adjustment. Obviously, Larry Borum too. So now the best thing to do, in my opinion, is to establish David Montgomery as the player that's going to be the identity of your offense. Work the action game off of it, as Johnny B was saying there too. Trey, are you there with me? David Montgomery. Obviously, they added Khalil Herbert, and you got Tariq Cohen coming back. So you got a backfield loaded. I mean, Barlissimo and Shayne love this. TJ Marrabell, who's an undrafted guy. So you got a lot of talent in the backfield. Are you with us in regards to establishing the run, or are you concerned with Nagy again throwing the ball around like he's in the Arena Football League still?
Yeah, what I am afraid of him being a little bit too happy and cute with his play calling. You know, it's like he gets way too cute with stuff. It's gonna be like triple reverses and
fourth and one.
You know,
fourth and one. Tight end sweep.
Right, tight end sweep. Yeah, Cordell Patterson to the short side of the field. Like what the hell? It's like just run the ball up the middle. It seems like we have the talent there, and I think. You know, like even if Justin Fields isn't on the field, I think he just invigorated something, and not just the fans, but the players on the team. I think their whole attitude is going to change about the organization, and they're going to be out there busting their butts to, make this Bears franchise great. And let's hope Nagy doesn't get too cute.
Well, let's not forget that this game is won in the trenches. You can look at it at both sides of the ball, offensive line, defensive line, and especially offensive line. You got to get that push, whether you're running the ball, which sets up a lot of other things, like I said earlier in the show, or you're getting that pass protection. Well, you got to get that push. You got to get that push off the O-line. We got some dogs coming in that you guys drafted. Damian Williams has proven he can do it at a championship level. I think Montgomery is hungry. and you got those other role-playing guys that you just talked
Johnny
about.
B, you can speak on this more than anybody because the Chiefs have been a well-oiled machine for years now since Patrick Mahomes came into the fold, but they also had a stout offensive line, and then last year the crack in the armor became your offensive line, and now they've completely retooled that offensive line because you saw how it went in the Super Bowl where Patrick Mahomes was running for his life for 4 quarters, and then you go from an all-time great Hall of Fame in the making quarterback to a guy that's having trouble getting the football down the field.
Well, I got to say, I was there live, and the guy was running for his life. And I don't care what anybody says at Super Bowl last February. Patrick Mahomes was the best player on the field that day. He was the most dynamic. He had a couple of guys get hit in the face with the ball, Tyreek earlier in the first quarter, and then the backup running back later after spectacular plays by Mahomes. The offensive line got banged up. It got banged up at the wrong time, and they started to get older. So we know what we have. We know we have Patrick Mahomes, a franchise quarterback like the Bears see now in Justin Fields for the future. And what did? We overhauled the whole thing right away. Asked Mahomes what he needed. Communication is key. Let's hope Nagy can do that like Andy Reid does with Mahomes and Brett Veach, the GM of the Chiefs. And then you just build it. Now we got one of the best offensive lines in the NFL, I think, this year when we roll them out.
And that's the point. You can have the best quarterback in the league, but if your offensive line ain't doing their job, it doesn't mean a hill of beans. You got to have an offensive line or none of it works. So, Justin Fields, Andy Dalton, whoever's under center for the Chicago Bears, if these guys aren't working in unison, and that's the thing with Matt Nagy, we didn't get a chance to talk about it with David Kaplan, but Matt Nagy the last couple of years, and this has been one of my biggest criticisms of him, is it's taken him till week 10, 2 years in a row, to have his idea of who should be on the offensive line. You're bringing in Sam Mustipher and Alex Mars late to the party. You're waiting too long to bench Rashad Coward. You're waiting too long to bench Kyle Long 2 years ago. I think Matt Nagy, and Shayne, you can speak to this too. I believe Matt Nagy has a little bit more of a head start this year because it looks like his interior line is locked down. But I also think, now you know what the left tackle is going to be with Tevin Jenkins, and maybe the right tackle is the last final piece of the question mark there. But Matt Nagy needs to have his ducks in a row, as I keep using that phrase, and then we can truly get off and running.
You got to say hi to her.
We actually have a special guest walking up. Say hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Tell us about that shirt.
Tell us about the shirt.
I ordered it from the internet.
Okay.
Very nice. What's your name? What's your name?
Phyllis.
Phyllis?
I bring that one too. Look at that shirt.
See that shirt.
Look at this one.
Okay. Where are you guys from?
Oakland.
Oakland? Nice. Did you come out here for Braggs in the stands or for Jim McMahon?
We came here for
Oh, I see. I see.
Nice to meet you as well.
It's very nice meeting you guys. Are you guys going to get drunk with us?
Yeah.
No.
No, come on. We're going to have fun.
It's a little early. It's a little early.
It's a little early, but
There you
remember,
go.
It's never too early.
it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
There
That's
you
right.
go. Jimmy Buffett style.
Well, it's
Take care,
nice meeting you,
All right.
Phyllis.
There you
How
go,
long-
Phyllis.
How long have you been a Bears fan, Phyllis?
Ever since I can remember.
Ever since who's
So
you?
like 10 years, right?
So
Like
is Jim
when you graduated college like 10 years ago, right?
No.
is Jim McMahon your favorite Chicago Bear of all time?
He's my favorite quarterback.
Favorite quarterback?
Who's the favorite Bear of all
Who's
time?
your favorite Bear?
That's tough.
Well, you only can have one
Phyllis, we
favorite.
need an
I
answer.
know.
We need an answer. I always say
You
you
need
can
to
only have
phone a
one
friend.
All right,
favorite.
I'll go.
What does she
All
think?
right, okay.
Phyllis, what do you think about Justin Fields?
The
What,
new-
what do I think of Justin Fields?
yes.
We're excited. We're excited. It's
There
right.
you go.
All right.
Yes.
I like
Yeah,
how your
wait.
daughter helped you out
All
there.
right.
All right.
Thanks.
All
Well,
right.
we look forward to seeing you guys at Bears
The
games
newspaper
here
reporter.
soon. Thanks for coming by and saying hi.
Thanks for
Thanks.
having us, guys. Take
See
care.
ya.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you, guys.
There was
Wow,
Phil. See,
live.
we're
Live.
moving and shaking here. We're starting to do.
Now you
we're
gotta
starting
get
to
some
create.
more interviews. Now,
I'm just going to throw it out there. If we were not on this tripod on this phone, that probably would not have worked as well.
Exactly.
If it was on the tripod, it was an easy flip.
The fans listening live.
I finally broke in and got myself a
There
Jack
you
and
go.
Coke.
Calming down.
I'm calming down. It was very stressful.
So
I was
already started.
I was never worried.
Trey came fully loaded.
Hey, man. He's locked and loaded there, baby.
Trey's packing, man.
It's good to talk to somebody when you don't know you're not going to feel judged about stuff, and you just want to. You don't want to feel vulnerable and all that stuff. It's really healthy to get those thoughts out your mind and thoughts off your chest. And I know, like what I'm saying right now is good advice, but this is the drunkest I've been on this show. I'm drunk, and it's y'all fault. but even when I'm drunk, I can keep it real. I'm drunk. I am drunk. I'm not tipsy. I am not tipsy. I'm drunk.
There's a highlight that Greg chose for you, Trey. I mean,
Oh, wow.
I have that in my hopper. I have that in my hopper at all times. I will play it at any time. It's my favorite moment.
there he is, Trey.
Yeah.
Emmy award-winning Trey. Tipsy Trey, too.
Everyone in the club getting tipsy.
Yes.
What?
Greg, I need you to line up a few more. Where is Barb? Let's get her up here to talk.
Come over here, Barb.
Get over here, Barb.
Get over here, Barb.
Or as
She
Greg would
says,
say,
let's
limp
go.
over here.
She's getting embarrassed, but we'll get her over here. I'm gonna do what Mom used to do when I was a kid. I'm gonna count to 3. You better have your butt over here.
Use
1,
use the middle name, Greg.
2. See, this is funny because I was talking to Phil on the phone the other day. He's yelling at his kids, trying to get them in line. And when I count to 3 to Addison to get her a check, it's 1, 2, 3. And Phil was yelling at his kids and saying 3, 2, 1. And I'm like, Phil, you don't count down. You count up. You don't, like, what are you doing? Like 3, 2, 1 sounds like it's like a
yeah. Greg, with my,
there she is.
I count down 3, 2, 1. There she is.
Here I am.
Barb, look at this. Barb.
You are so bad, Shayne. So bad. Torture
Don't
time.
forget to leave that door unlocked, Barb. You have an empty house.
It's crazy. It's so quiet in there. And then, Greg and Jenny brought DirecTV to my house.
Yep.
And then they left and took everything. So I have no television.
Barb can't even watch herself, Greg.
She's supposed to watch.
Oh, she's taping Hallmark movies and every show. That's over. It's all getting deleted.
That's all right. I watch Addie at their house 3 days a week. I'll watch my Hallmark.
There you go.
So how are you guys?
We're good. We're live here on your son's show, crossing over. We even have Trey food.
I know, Trey. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks for all your support this week. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been a long week.
Yeah. It's been tough.
Now, Barb, seriously, when they pull off, the moving van is left, is there a little bit of you that's like, F yeah, he's gone?
Say it again.
I said, woohoo, party time!
The invention here is called the Cobb Quickie.
Oh, nice. Nice. Hey,
Can we
stop
get
it.
Barb a shot? Can we get her
I
a
need
shot?
one after that.
Yes.
Hey, this
exactly.
morning
That was
I found a present at my house this morning.
Oh, really?
Because they came with a second load to take everything to their house. Some stuff they were going to leave at my house, but because Greg woke Jenny up at 3:45 in the morning, they had time to do that. So I said to Greg this morning, hey, you left some stuff behind. And he's like, no, I didn't. What? 3 huge frames And he goes, oh, those are my good ones. I go, thank you. I thought that was a present. Like Cubs, Bears, all this stuff. And so
I thought you were going to talk about Greg's herbal bags.
I quit.
He quit.
Cold turkey like that? Oh my God!
You know, you got it. You're homeowner.
I'm gonna take up becoming an alcoholic.
Yeah, I would probably go the other way, Greg.
I know
it's legalized July 1st in Connecticut.
Oh,
So
really?
we're excited here.
What?
Did you ever hear what he said to me?
Yes,
like
sir.
Years ago.
No,
I was like, I'm a teacher. You need to stop doing that in my house. I don't want to lose my house. I need a job. And he goes, Mom, you should try it. It would calm you down.
It's the week that he's had. I mean, he needs to get back into the game.
I know.
Get that stupid Barb Marsaw off, Shayne. I'm tired of you being in my stream. No, it's been a whirlwind of a week, even for my mom. I mean, with Bailey, it wasn't just for me. I mean, my mom has been every bit a part of Bailey's life. We rescued him from Costa Rica, the streets of Costa Rica. My mom picked him up from O'Hare Airport. It's been a lot. Obviously the adrenaline of moving into a new house and doing all that other stuff. But when I talk about the man I am today because of my dog, I wouldn't even be a man or a figment of anyone's imagination if it wasn't for this beautiful mother of mine. And she brought me into this world, and I'm always by her side, loyal to her. And whenever you see me, Barb's not too far behind, because as I don't call her Ma, I call her Barb. But it's because we, not only are son and mother, we're best friends in a lot of ways. We go a lot of the games I go to. I don't go with all my drunken heathen friends like I used to when I was young. I go with my mom because that's how much she means to me. She stands by my side, so I stand by hers.
We're having a moment here, Shayne.
I know. I've always loved sports.
Go ahead.
Normally,
Bob,
Phil's crying on the shows, but we got Mom.
I gotta say this. Can you mute Barb and Greg so we don't echo for a second, Shayne?
Yep.
I know you're in the producer role today. Our boy Shayne, you're watching live. What Greg and Alex and Johnny have had to deal with in regards to technical difficulties. Me and Shayne are over here cracking up. Greg's pulling his hair out. And really coming live and doing this for the first time. We went through a dry run, but they were inside. Now the signal for the Wi-Fi affected. So Johnny B and Alex are stepping up. So that's why all these echoes and everything like that, just if you're listening at home. But I want to say this about Barb and Greg. You talk about David Kaplan. You talk about Greg. But Barb is a teacher and a woman who has stood up for the truth in regards to race, in regards to people and empathy. And she has been there for me on the phone. I've talked to Greg for hours. Greg don't text. He loves to talk. And so do I. But the reality is what they've had to deal with, that emotional moment is just special between a son and a mom. Here on Brags in the Stands with the crossover to TTNL, Barb, you have been around this guy growing up, loving this dog, loving sports. I don't think anybody deserves a bigger medal than you other than Jenny, because Jenny allows this guy to go and experience all these sports where all us guys, all us husbands are like, how does he get to go to all these games? So when you look at Greg's relationship with Jenny and everything's moving out of your house and everything, how proud of you are you in regards to Greg and Jenny? We can't hear him.
I think she's muted right now.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Go ahead, Barb.
I'm very proud of them. They went to kindergarten together. Greg hated Jenny. And then all of a sudden, senior year in high school, he tells me he's taking Jenny to the prom. I'm like, no, you're not. You're dating somebody else. And he was like, not anymore, you know. And so
The trunk.
they have grown up together, and I've been, you know, Greg's a homebody, so Jenny was at my house every night. And
People are scrambling around us because there's a tornado coming this way
Oh,
in 15
no.
minutes.
Oh,
But anyway, they're
That's what was going on there.
so excited to have their first home. They had a condo together, but there's something about a home and a home with a pool. And we got a lot done yesterday, and I know we're going to have a lot of years of happiness. So,
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
It's
awesome.
just a lot, you know, and trying to get it all together. And now we have a tornado coming through. If that isn't an exemplary of what has been going on this week here for the Braggs family, nothing.
Perfect
Nothing is
capper
fun.
to a week.
Yeah, but we ride the storm out, as the song says, and that's what we're gonna do here. Do our best to not get blown away. And you know, I did have another special guest. Mom's gonna, do you want to say? Wait, you can say goodbye. Say goodbye to everybody.
Say goodbye because it's boring.
Say love you to everybody.
I love you.
Barb,
I love you
Thank you,
all.
Barb.
And I
Barb, I'm
appreciate
sending
you.
you a Keeping It 100 t-shirt. It's off. It's in the mail for you.
Okay.
I'm sending it to
I'll
Greg.
wear it.
There
Okay.
you go.
I wore it
Thanks.
first. It's got my natural mustache on it.
Oh, I can't wait. Behave. Thanks. Love you guys.
Love you, Barb. They're dealing with
This
the
invention here is called the Cobb Quickie.
You're insane.
Yeah, David Kaplan to start the show, kicking off, talking about Matt Nagy, the quarterback competition, and everything Chicago Bears. Greg is live with our guy, Alex Acevedo, Johnny B, right there in Indiana at Catch 22. Jim McMahon is in the building. Have we found out if we're going to get a minute with Jim, or with the storm, the tornado? It might not happen, but we completely understand. We're having a blast here.
Jenny.
Yes. Oh, I thought.
I'm trying to get all my electronics
Your
that we're
ducks
not
in a
using in the car. That's right. The ducks in the rows. That's
There
fine,
you
but put
go.
that in the car. You know, so I'm trying to get all. I'm trying to get all the electronics we're not using in the car. We had brought a TV so the people that were sitting outside that are now scrambling inside could see us, but unfortunately we're not. We had to do it off of Alex's phone because we had to try to troubleshoot some things. Now we have our guy Chris Gonzalez here behind us, hanging out. Big time White Sox fan, nice enough to come out and be in the live audience for our first ever live show. So that means a lot for your support, Chris. But yeah, you know, I'm willing to. If I get blown away, I get blown away. I just made a text to what I was planning on being our next special guest. We'll see if he can come on. We're running a little over of what time I told him. But he's a good friend of mine, and normally he's not too busy. So maybe I'll give him a call. I'm not worried about the tornado. Johnny's hiding, but I'm not. I'll call him.
I'm a little worried about the tornado, but I got Greg with me, so I feel safe.
I got two Jack and Cokes here, so I'll be okay.
Alex Acevedo stepping up there, being there live. What's the vibe like, Alex? We saw a little shot that Greg or Johnny took. The fans are lining up to get. Look at them rocking the Braggs in the stands. Love it. Oh, it is raining. Huh? It is raining there. The tornado warning has been put into existence. Johnny's in the rain. Look at him. It's like New Edition over there. Can you stand the rain?
Can you stand the rain?
There you go. Perfect, Trey. Perfect, Trey. You and I are going to get along.
My wife, and obviously I outkicked the coverage.
Oh, you got to bring your wife on it at some point. Alex,
the vibe was great. It kind of calmed down a little bit. Now it's downpouring outside. I've got tornado warnings coming. Everyone's inside. Got the DJ in there. It's bumping inside.
Yeah,
we're stuck out in the rain, but hey, we're having a great time.
Trey.
Yeah.
Tupac or Biggie?
Biggie.
Yes, Trey, you're winning so far. PS or Xbox?
Xbox.
No, don't help.
I have both of them, so it's like,
you're the perfect one. You're the perfect one to tell us.
Okay, so
if you had to choose, man.
If I had to choose, well, I know more people on the PlayStation Network.
There you go.
And so just because of that, you know,
he doesn't want to ruin any possible.
What's your take on corn as a vegetable?
Corn?
The newest invention here is called the Cob Quickie. Hands down the easiest way to butter your corn on the cob on a hot summer day. Simply grab yourself a fresh stick of butter and using our patent-pending firm grip design, place the butter directly onto the center spikes. Then simply go to town buttering your corn on the cob from top to bottom. No matter what your technique is, get the job done this summer when you use the Cob Quickie.
There you go.
Whoever thought that the Tape Never Lies would be out here in Northwest Indiana with Greg Braggs
in a tornado.
In a tornado.
Whoever thought? Mike, just come on the show.
Fitting.
Fuck the tornado. Get out of the way. Come on the show.
There he is.
Greg, you gotta get. Greg, you got a guest. You got a guest.
Oh shit! Yeah, hold on.
There he is.
So this is Mike from Collector's Cave as the tornado is storming through.
We don't mess around.
We actually have our special guest. We'll add him to the stream now. Doug Plank.
Doug Plank
join the show.
Dougie Plank.
Doug, we got a lot going on here. We got my guy Phil and Shayne for the kingdom. Yes, and then we are live at a bar in Northwest Indiana called Catch Table and Tap. And they literally just let off the tornado sirens because it is pouring here. Everyone around us is scrambling and tearing down the tents. And I'm drinking, and I'm just going to do my show because we're riding the storm out, baby. This is Mike from Collector's Cave. You guys have met in the past and have done work together.
Cody Parkey jersey, rocking it.
You remember that show.
Yes.
Grab a metal pole and go out in that storm. Grab a metal pole and go out in that storm.
All right.
Yes. Well, we're under
storm
metallic optics, but we're not worried about it.
Yeah.
Jim's over here from Catch. Jeremy.
There he is. What's up, Jim?
Hey, he's related to the Honky Tonk Man.
Oh, wow.
Honky Tonk Man.
Honky Tonk Man.
Honky Tonk Man.
I didn't know that.
So the legend
out there.
Doug Plank joins the show. I wanted to make sure Mike came on and said hi because Doug, we're doing a live show here at Catch Table in Tampa, Merrillville, Indiana. Jim McMahon is doing a public signing inside for all the Bears fans. And so what better guy like you than to have on Doug? But I wanted Mike to be able to come on and say a few words.
Yeah.
So if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, Doug, we got to get you out here as well here in the future.
I'll wait till the tornado leaves.
Tornado spotted on the ground, will not stop Braggs in the stand. But just want to thank Braggs and everyone that came out. I can tell you, didn't sleep a lot this week with rain in the forecast. This rain has been pretty spotty, but actually, we literally got our last VIP guys to get their pictures and their inscriptions, and it started raining. So, really happy about it. Amazed with the turnout. I think bringing Jimmy Mack to Merrillville was a big hit. And I can't wait to bring more legends to Northwest.
We got to bring our boy Doug to Northwest Indiana.
Yeah.
We'll do a live show, and Doug will sit down next to us and give us a nice interview because Doug is a man of the people.
Let's get that contract signed right now, buddy. How much money you need? Come on.
Hey, listen,
how much?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I got somebody to negotiate it, so I'll listen.
He'll talk to his negotiator.
He'll have his people call your people.
He'll have his people
it's
call
in and out, but I heard $500.
Yeah, you know what?
I'll tell you right now, Doug.
I mean, you think about this. My 9 years, I played for 8 years. I got paid for 9 years with the Bears. And it ended up being an average of $45,000 a year. And it just was, that's what it was back then. I was a 12th round draft pick. So I came in at 17, 18, 19,000 for my first 3 years. And, when you come off and you haven't even made, even $20,000 and you've been in the league for 3 years, you're starting from a hole.
Yeah, I get it. So is that your negotiation tactic? Is that so that 500 has increased? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I really most of my payments now or compensation is in satisfaction, in doing something good or changing somebody's mind for a positive direction. And when you're there's no doubt I'm in the fourth quarter of my life, so I take every one of these minutes as valuable time.
So as your negotiator, what that means is straight cash, homie.
What are we up to now?
We're going to make it happen. It's Doug Plank. If you don't know Doug Plank, you probably aren't a Bears fan. That's the way that ship sails out into the Lake Michigan, because Doug is the number 46 in the 46 defense. Doug is just an amazing human being and person. We're excited to announce Doug is going to be on Keeping It 100 with us July 7th. He's going to be jumping on the show with us. He'll be the headliner that week. It's going to be a lot of fun talking with Doug. But here, Greg's out. Just to give you perspective, Doug, if you haven't been watching, there's been a bunch of technical difficulties just getting this together, and just amazing job by all those guys pulling this together. Now they're dealing with the Mother Nature. Yes. And when you deal, she always wins no matter what, right? So she's the only one that's undefeated in the league. So to see them structure, communicate, that's what's going on there. So I got Trey Tunes over here. He's up in the right corner. And then my partner over at the Tape Never Lies Network, Shayne, the smartest man, Marsaw, with Brags in the Stands on this live event where they are out at a bar where Jimmy Mack is signing. And hopefully we get you out there, as the owner is saying, to get you to have some fans come out, meet you, sign some things, and do that with you. It's well deserving. And to hear your story of what you made versus what they make now. Do you ever have those like moments where you're like, no, God damn it, I wish I played now?
Yeah, you know what? Really, I mean, you can make that comparison and say, wow, that Doug, you and everybody else, Gary Fensick, everybody was paid not very much money. The incredible thing is, there was 6 months off, and during those time periods, there was no, off-season workouts or OTAs or whatever you want to call it. So I got a job within a week after each season in Chicago. I managed to get a job, either selling water softeners, tax shelters, real estate, you name it. I worked in the off season, and I always made more money than I did during the 6 months with the Bears. And it was really
my God.
amazing, because I was always trying to prepare myself for the ultimate when someone told you, Doug, it's over. And I got that call one day on a Friday night in the off season, and the draft had happened that week. And the general manager, Jim Finks, called me and said, Doug, I want to meet with you tonight at 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock in my office up in Lake Forest. So I ultimately go up there, and he goes, Doug, we decided you failed your physical. I go, you mean the physical I took 6 months ago? Yeah, that physical.
Oh, Jesus.
He didn't tell me that Dave Durrison, the kid from Notre Dame, just got drafted. And that was going to be my replacement. And he goes, well, I'd like you to clean out your locker too, because those guys are coming here tomorrow at 6 o'clock, the guys we drafted. So, we'd like you to have you clean your locker out. And I said, okay, that's all right. So, I went down there, and unfortunately at 9 o'clock on a Friday night, nobody's there. The janitor isn't there. Nobody's there. So all the doors were locked. So he said, okay, I want you to come up here tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock in the morning at Saturday.
Oh, we lost Doug.
Oh, we lost Doug.
There
he is.
a hefty trash bag over my shoulder, cleaning out my locker, walking out thinking, man, 9 years. I didn't think it would end this way. I didn't think a band would be playing, but I didn't think I'd be leaving under cover of darkness at 6 a.m. in the morning. And so that was it. That was the glorious finale, final hours with the Bears.
Well, you deserve better than that.
Well, no, yeah, I mean, I know whatever. It was, the football world, NFL, not for long. You're there for a very short period of time, so you better make the best of it. And, when you guys talked about compensation, you know what? It wasn't what I got paid. It's who I met and the relationships that I had with other people that set up the rest of my life.
Yeah.
For being a Burger King franchisee and getting a securities license and going into real estate and becoming
you got to meet me on Bragg's in the stands.
Yeah,
that had to be the pinnacle of your life.
It's all worth it.
So no, it's been a blast. I mean, the last 12 years being a broadcaster, NFL, and so getting a chance to still be in the game without really being there. And I gave up on the coaching because I just felt like coaching was way too demanding. And once again, you were not, somebody else had your future in their hands. And I really liked having control of my life, after having gone through it as a player, and then I put 10 more years in coaching in the Arena League, at Ohio State, with the Jets, with the Falcons. I just said, enough is enough.
Right.
Well, Doug, we have so many live viewers. We had a live audience out here on the patio, and they all scattered. The rain has actually started. The rain has actually started to calm down. So we stared that tornado in the face and said, "Get out of here." We stood strong. Everybody else took off, but I'm showing everybody here how dedicated I am to what I'm trying to do. And you were the most dedicated at your profession as far as putting your head down and laying the wood. When you see a video like this, Doug, and the hits you gave to some of the players, what goes through your head? Maybe talk about kind of your philosophy when you were, looking down the barrel of another player and wanting to lay him out.
You know what? It was no different than everybody else. When you're in your car sometimes and you're driving down the highway going 60 or 70 miles an hour, and a car cuts in front of you or whatever, the first instinct is to stop or get out of the way. The same thing is true in football. You really don't want to run into somebody that's much bigger than you are because it's going to hurt. There's going to be a pain associated with it. Something's going to break, bones, ligaments. And so what you have to do is you have to control your mental aspect and control your survival instinct and say, you know what? I am not slowing down. I am going to run through this person as best I can, and I'm going to make them pay the price. So it was awesome. I mean, I got to tell you, getting paid to run through players, I didn't realize how much I enjoyed contact until my mother dropped me when I was about 5 years old. And I fell out of her hands, and I hit the floor and bounced a couple times. I went, this feels good. So I just kept it going. And I'm very thankful that I came to the Bears from Ohio State. The Bears, it was a very natural, having played in the Midwest at Ohio State, and then to going to Chicago. It was amazing too, because I didn't really start at Ohio State. I was behind. I was the backup. I was the next man up, so to speak. And at the Northwestern game, my senior year, that one of the safeties in front of me got injured, and I played that game, and I made all the tackles on the kickoff team. I had a couple interceptions, knocked balls down, and I got drafted, crazy as it sounds, based on just one single game. And people couldn't believe it that I got drafted because I was back on the bench the next week. And, it was amazing that day when I got drafted. Everybody's going, man, I never thought you were going to get drafted, Doug. You didn't hardly play. And, it's a great story, though, because there's a lot of guys out there that played for their colleges and didn't get drafted. The Richard Dents of the world, got drafted in the 6th round. He was a starter. All I'm saying is, listen, how about the guys that didn't even start and got drafted? That's me. And came to the Chicago Bears. And I said, you know what? I might not be here long, but I'm going to do as much damage as I can. And I was running into everybody I could, coaches, players. It didn't matter. And you know what? It was amazing because, those 4 weeks, I managed to go from 12th round draft pick to starting free safety.
Wow.
Doug, you mentioned it there a little bit earlier, talking about coming to the Bears from Ohio State. We have another guy coming from Ohio State to the Bears this year, Justin Fields. Can you speak on that situation and being connected to the Bears and part of the whole tradition there? Do you the night that April 29th, 2021, it just feels different when they drafted Justin Fields. They've tried before. They drafted Mitch. It didn't work out, but it didn't. Just when they drafted Justin Fields, things felt different to me as a fan, as a guy who analyzes this. I don't know, is that something that you felt? I know he's got to go out there and improve himself, but it's just, there was something different about it this time that, like, holy shit, they figured it out. They went and got the right guy this time. Is that something that you feel, or just talk on that?
Well, let me just say this, especially offensively, the quarterback has the most responsibility on a National Football League team he has to know where all the players are, the blockers, the receivers, the running backs. So, when I played back in the 70s and 80s, there was a huge deficit margin between college and pro football.
Oh, yeah.
But I have to tell you, I think that gap has really narrowed. How many times now we see talent come from college and they're stars the next year? And I truly think that Justin Fields has an opportunity to be that person. I mean, I came from Ohio State. I was a defensive back. All we played was 3 deep the whole time. It was 3 safety, a safety in the middle and 2 corners, and then a strong safety. I mean, come on. How difficult is it to mix things up? Well, you know what? Things have changed now. You go to college, it's very intricate. It's not just a simple game, of just sitting in a zone. And the same thing is true for the offense. They have to read defenses. They have to make plays. And here's the other thing. Whether you like it or not, football has evolved into run-pass plays that right now, and the quarterbacks that can stay alive and still make things happen. Even look at Tom Brady. You look at the plays that he made in the Super Bowl game. Some of those plays, he scrambled out of the pocket. He extended the play. Coverages break down on defense after just a few seconds. And Tom Brady, despite his age, he was able to extend plays. That's one thing Justin Fields can do. Not only can he extend plays, this kid is fast. He's an athlete.
Yeah.
And he's big. He's not some 5, he's not Doug Flutie. I mean, he's going to be able to see over people, and he's fast and he's quick. The other thing about him is he's got great communication with the other players. All the players had respect for him. He can take a hit. You saw that, the last few games of the year there at Ohio State, got hit several times, running down the field. So he's not afraid of putting his head down and fighting for, first down yards, much like Jim McMahon used to with the Chicago Bears. But this kid's an athlete, and he can run, and he's accurate. And I think, the Bears offense, depending on what Matt Nagy or whoever else is going to call the plays this year, that offense could look very much like Kansas City, with a quarterback that is back in the pocket and he sees everything covered. He can take off running, and he can throw on the run. That's the other thing. There aren't many guys that can throw accurately downfield, running with the football. Justin Fields can do that.
It's an exciting time for the Chicago Bears as they try to get a new era of this football team. You could feel the vibe of that. You haven't had that person at the position that you speak of since Jim McMahon. And
no, it's amazing, isn't it?
It really is, because there's never really been that personality. There's always been that, for me, experiencing it from where I'm at, being around football my whole life, I've never seen a Chicago Bears quarterback be demonstrative, be that lunatic that says it's on fucking me. It's on me. I'm going out there. I'm going to win. Since Jim McMahon. And finally, you find this kid who has something to prove. Let's not forget that. He's always, his whole entire life, had to compete neck and neck with Trevor Lawrence. When he has, He's faced him. He's beat him every time. Yet here in the draft, he's going to carry that chip. I don't care what anyone says. Tom Brady still is motivated by where he was drafted.
Yes.
Even to this day. So Justin Fields looks the part in college. The jump to the NFL, to Doug's point, back then was different than it is now. The preparedness, the schools, the AAUs, and these quarterback schools, and all of these things going on. At the end of the day, it's the man, it's the thinker, it's the ability to play the game at a high level. We've seen it. We feel, though, Doug, that this guy has that Jim McMahon, I'm going to take your name and I'm going to go out there and win games for you. Is that you're from that school, so you do have some communication, I would believe, as an alumnus. What are you hearing about Justin the person? Is he motivated like that?
You know what? I talked to Urban Meyer about him several months ago, and this before he became the head coach in Jacksonville. But he couldn't say enough nice things. And I know Ryan Day, the coach, existing coach. I mean, you don't have to be a scout to see what this guy can do. I totally agree with you when you think you're getting punked by somebody. Now, I'm not thinking I got punked. You know, I started like 5 games at Ohio State, so I deserve to be drafted in the 12th round. That still doesn't mean that once I got to camp that I didn't have a chip on my shoulder. I'm looking around here going, I'm a 12th round draft pick, and these guys are like 5, 6, 4th round. I go, man, wait till they see what I can do hitting people, not necessarily covering or running down people. But you know what? And back then, you know, the running game was much more of a factor. And I said, you know what? So I had this kind of chip on my shoulder all the time. People say, well, how can you have a chip on your shoulder? You know what? I try to go out there and play with as much intensity each play, each quarter. I guarantee you're going to get that from this guy, because that's what he did at Ohio State the whole time he was there. I'm not saying Ohio State's the best college. You know what? It may not be the best, but it's up there. It's up there pretty close. And I frankly, when I came to the Bears in 1975, I'll be honest with you, looking at guys I was playing against, there were guys in college that were better than that on at Ohio State.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's almost like some of those schools, the Alabamas, the Ohio States of the world, I'll tell you what, they may not have the best player on the team, but they got a whole bunch of really, really, really good ones. And when you play against them on a day in, day out basis, every day at practice, you're going up against them, you know, as far as coverage skills, tackling, you know, things were different back then too. Twice, two days in a week during the season, we had some kind of a contact drill. Usually one of them was end zone and the other one was short yardage out on the field. It was live. The first team was playing against the second team live. These guys were tearing each other up. It got to the point where you on Saturday, you came out, you know, now you got a chance to play in front of 100,000 people and you're all, you know, they're all clapping and everything. You're going, man, this is easy. Wednesday and Thursday were the hard days.
Right.
Because you were going against guys that were going to, most of them be first round draft picks.
Yeah.
And I mean, you had to have your game face on. So the weekends were like fun. People were clapping and cheering, and running out, laughing, and with all your old buddies. And that's why I'm really excited. I think, you know, the coaches have a big part of this. I told you guys before, you know, people, they say, what's the biggest factor in winning and losing? Coaching.
Yes.
And I say that because I've been a coach for 10 years, at least in arena football, college, and the NFL. And it's a matter of calling the right plays, you know, treating the players the right way, having a great atmosphere so that, you know, when Sunday comes around, man, I'll tell you what, you don't even need to give them a talk just before the game. They're already ready. You know, they've already, what you've done all week in terms of preparation and giving messages to the players all during the week. They know what was in store for that weekend. And they got their game face on.
Well, Doug, you know, I hate to cut you short here today.
That's okay.
Because Well, you are
falling down.
That's all you need to know right there.
We're in a tornado there.
There's literally a tornado. A tornado is literally coming. Alex Acevedo's tearing down the tent as we speak. Help him out, Johnny B. Help him out, Johnny B.
I'll see you guys later.
And I hate to cut you short. You're gonna have to reconvene with Phil and Shayne on the Tape Never Lies Network. I appreciate you coming on.
I'll tell him July 7th, Doug Plank is
You
going to
better tell him quick, brother.
TTNL. We'll break it all down. I can't wait to hear Doug's take on Coach Nagy and all of the coaching stuff we're going to get into. So Greg Braggs is live. You can see him ducking. There's tornado warnings. You had Doug Plank, Dave Kaplan, my man Trey Tunes. We got to have him on the show with us too to get to know him. Shayne, the smartest man. And now you can see they're inside getting jerseys autographed. The guys are in the bar. Unbelievable day in a showcase. Yeah, it's impressive.
This is what we do here at Braggs in the Sands. We roll with the punches.
There we go.
We've had a lot going on here.
This is awesome.
He's going live,
This is what we do, brother.
The tornado warning.
So
tents falling down. Mom's coming on the show. Everything you could think of has transpired.
Listen, I don't want you guys on the Weather Channel having your tent blow up.
Yes, it has been insane here. I'll give you a little sneak peek of the. We got our guy over here, back in the house, doing his thing.
Where is he? I can't see him.
This is what it's all about. We got Jimmy Mac right there hanging out.
Oh, there he is. I see him. He's sitting in the chair.
Yeah, you see him now?
Yeah, it's a little pixelated, that's all. It's probably the tornado.
Maybe my camera. Yeah.
It's okay.
It might be. It might be here.
No,
we got it.
It's the signal.
This is. Oh, I see. Well, like I said, man, it's been a hell of a show, Doug. We've been trying to do everything we can. Rolling with the punches. Tornado comes in.
Doug could.
No, I appreciate you, Doug.
Tackle the tornado. He would tackle it.
No, that's why I love you, Doug. That's why I love you, Doug, because I texted you this morning. You hadn't known anything about this show, and I called you in the morning, and right on a whim's notice, you agreed to come on, and it just speaks to the character that you are. Yeah. I'm out of the rain now. Alex and Johnny B are tearing down the tent, and I just wanted to tell you thank you for everything and all the support you've shown me. You're a good man. I look forward to shaking your hand one day. There's a lot of people in here talking, so I apologize for the loudness. But yeah, Jimmy Mac's in the house, and this is my first ever live show at a bar, and I don't think I could have improvised any better because I've had every single curveball thrown at me. When you get a curveball, you got to hit them, and I think I've hit a few. I appreciate you, Doug. I just want your interview with Phil, and of course my guy Trey Tunes here at the bottom right, a good friend of mine. I want it to be a more intimate, to be a more respectful interview because you're a legend of the Chicago Bears, and everybody watching here tonight knows that. And I want it to be done the right way. So I appreciate you popping on with us and giving a few words. We did everything we could. We rode the storm out. So I'm going to cut you loose, Doug. And hopefully the next time I talk to you, it's under better circumstances, my friend.
Listen, always appreciate it. Can't wait.
There you go.
Well, thank you as always, Doug. Yes, sir.
See you guys.
You can take it.
Yeah, Doug, just real quick, you are a man, a legend. God bless Doug for coming on here on Braggs in the Stands, TTNL crossover show. Greg has hit every curve imaginable. I can't even comprehend the amount of things he's had to deal with. It's unbelievable that we were able to do this. I got to give him a lot of credit. Alex, Johnny B, the family, Shayne, everybody pulling this together. We're getting ready to be able to do this live from Soldier Field. So to have this kind of stuff going on, Greg's making friends with the police. They're suited up. We can't hear you. Can't hear you, Greg. You cannot hear Greg.
That's not going to stop him.
I said, you got to make friends with the police before you arrest me later for public intoxication.
Happening.
Right. Hey, your buddy's over here drunk.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll introduce him to you, Trey. The drunkest man on the Trey Tunes show.
Man, I laughed at that clip so hard because, man, I was so drunk. And it like hit me in the middle of, I'm like giving this whole soliloquy of, like, just going off. And I'm like, man, I was so intoxicated. And I just kept taking shots. And like, take another shot. I'm like, okay. And man, it hit me, and yeah, we got that clip forever. Apparently, you have to relive that moment.
That's why Shayne does what he does. He has Greg's clips to fight back for you, Trey.
Right. Oh man,
you guys have met Mike from Collector's Cave. This is Aaron from Collector's Cave. These guys are partners.
Aaron?
He can't hear you. He can only speak into it because he's not wearing the headset. If you want, you can put
the headset on.
Say hi, and then you got Phil on the left. Underneath Phil, you got Shayne.
What's
up,
gentlemen?
What's up, Aaron? How you doing?
On the bottom right underneath you is Trey Tunes. We've been.
I appreciate it, guys. Been a good time out here today. A huge crowd. He muted my mic. Here we go. Yeah, guys, I appreciate the time. I'm excited for people in this place to see Mac, and he was in real good spirits. He had a good time. We got some Portillos and some stuff, so he was good to be back in the region. And I really appreciate the support from you guys, man. I really do.
Well, I appreciate you letting me get involved. Might be the worst decision you ever
You can see they're dealing with the tornado. Obviously, that on top of everything they're dealing with.
I wonder now that they're inside, could they switch the signal without interrupting the show?
I think they can hit the Wi-Fi. You went out. Shayne's muted. We can't hear Shayne.
Greg, you're gonna have to switch over to the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, now that you're inside, could you do it without cutting the show off, or what?
Will you be able to switch to the Wi-Fi signal? Because that whole interview with Aaron, it looked like
Domo Origato Misto Robato.
Have you ever interviewed a jellyfish before? That's what it looked like. So there's Greg. Greg is there. Maybe we wrap it up here for Greg, or is he? Wait. Wait a minute. It's spinning. It's scrolling.
So cut him off. He switched signals, and he's probably gonna come in better now.
This invention here is called the cop.
He's not switching over to Wi-Fi. He's buttering his corn.
Right.
Yeah. Everything we do on our network, Trey, just like you, is unscripted. So Shayne and I keep it 100 every Wednesday night. This Wednesday on TTNL, we are going to be welcoming former Chicago Bear, future Hall of Famer, in my opinion, Shayne, and the captain, Olin Kreutz, will be joining us on the show with his former fullback, Rex Grossman's backside, who's always in his face. That's Jason McKee. So we'll have Olin Kreutz and Jason McKee this week on Keeping It 100. Then the following week, July 7th, we're going to have the rekindling relationship conversation with Greg's boy tonight. Doug Plank will be on Keeping It 100. So we got a couple great weeks coming up. As you can see, we've dealt with a lot of technical. There he is. Greg is back.
How we doing,
much better than before.
Well, we switched Wi-Fi's. Now we got Alex Acevedo holding the camera because my arm was about to die. So you ain't got to go that far. Jeez.
Yeah, he's way better.
Make sure you get your beautiful.
Never
face
happy,
in
is
his
he,
camera.
Alex? He's never
I'm just
happy.
waiting for you to turn, and then Jim McMahon standing next to you.
Yeah. Well, Jim just left. You know,
Oh,
he's done
he just
doing his signings,
Okay.
and he was a real good sport with everybody. You know, it's just been a crazy day. But I want to thank you guys for being involved in this. Trey, I want to thank you for popping on today. This was a lot of fun. You know, as I told Chris Gonzalez, he was like, how are you working this out? I was like, there is no plan. We are just going to figure it out as we go. And little did I know we would have the kind of obstacles we had here today. It's been a learning experience, as Phil just said. But we have many more live events that are going to be coming up. I'm doing a lot of work with the Collectors Cave. You know, I'm trying to earn my bid because they're going to be framing a lot of jerseys for me here in the upcoming future. And Mike's a good man, and we cross paths. Just looking for somebody to frame my jersey. They just so happen to be a company in the region, so the symmetry is there. And it's exciting stuff. We got big things coming over at Brags in the Stands, and I always want to make sure I involve my guys Phil and Shayne in everything I do because, like I said before, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for those guys, especially Phil. Phil saw something in me. I don't know what the fuck it was, but he saw something. And so here we are having fun doing our thing. But it has been a lot of fun today. Nice meeting you, officer. We'll talk to you soon. I got a DD, so we're good. But it has been a lot of fun today. We had David Kaplan on. We had Phyllis on. My mom came on. Addie came on. Phil, Shayne, and Trey. We got our guy Johnny B. He's coming over into the fold.
Johnny B.
See you later. And remember, money won is far sweeter than money earned, baby.
Woo!
Hey!
Shayne, I gotta give it to you, my man. Apart from all your nonsensical things, Jack and Coke, please.
That's number 3.
2 of them.
Oh, so that's number 4 then.
No, this has been a lot of fun, and this is what we do, man. Try to roll with the punches and see where it takes us. But like I said, many more live events coming up, and hopefully we are more organized next time. But each time we do this, we're going to get better and better. Phil plans on doing a live show in the tailgate lot, whatever tailgate lot is, whether it's South Lot or somewhere. But when they come for Bears Packers, and Alex has been a huge help to me here today, and it's been good practice. So hopefully by the time we get to Bears Packers in October, we've got this thing running like a well-oiled machine. But you know what? Rome wasn't built in a day. You got to build it brick by brick. I'm a bricklayer. I know all about that, brother. So I want to thank you, Alex. You're a team player, man.
Great job, Alex.
This dude's a great friend and good man.
today.
He is the MVP. He just tore down a tent in a tornado and a pouring ass rain while we were live, and just orchestrating.
This isn't sweat. This is rain.
Orchestrating all this while chaos is going on around us. So I want to shout him out for sure. You guys over at the Tape Never Lies Network are great people, and certainly want to continue our friendship and our partnership as far as crossovers and all that is concerned. So, we've run for about 2 hours and 15 minutes here. I wanted to make sure we tried to end this show in somewhat of an organization. I want to thank everybody that's in the chat. Obviously, this is a huge segment of the Keep It at 100 Tape Never Lies Network crew, the 100 crew, the loyal patrons. Maybe one day I'll join that crew. But until then, I do want to shout everybody out for staying tuned and staying live with us. Trying to make it as entertaining as the show as possible, like I said, with the fun guests and everybody else in between. So we're going to continue to do more of this as we go forward. But I'll let Phil, Trey, and Shayne get their final words in. Shayne, let me start with you, brother, because you're always really good and succinct with your thoughts on the day.
Oh, man, it was a whole lot of fun. I was talking to Phil when you guys were going through your issues there pre-show. Because I know how frustrating it can get. Phil and I have been doing this for a while, and Phil knows what it's like when you're dealing with internet problems. But you want this to come across as good as it can, but it really speaks to, like you said, Greg, you and Johnny B and Alex and Barb and Jenny and Addie really pulling together and making this the best that it can be. And listen, problems are always going to be there, but it's about the content that you put out and you keep on pushing forward. And that's what we tried to help you do today. But this is your baby and this is your thing. So, and Phil and I are always going to be there. I know I'm going to speak for Trey here too. We're always going to help you out no matter what and do what you got to do. So, I want to thank you for letting us do this cross promotion with TTNL. There's going to be a lot more of these in the future. It's going to be really good for both sides. I see there's about 75 in the chat. I know TTNL is probably responsible for 70 of those, but we're going to help you out that way too, bro.
Yeah, but my 5 loyal viewers, Chubbs included, those are some golden viewers, goddamn it. It's not the size of the fight in your viewers, it's the fight of the size in your dog.
Chubbs is a TTNL patron. Chubbs is a TTNL patron. Thank you, Chubbs.
Well, hey, some of us are smart. Some of us are smart. So, Trey, I'm going to kick it over to you. As I said, you can find Trey on the Trey Tunes Show every day, Monday through Friday. And when he doesn't do a show, what is it, Trey? It's unacceptable.
It's unacceptable.
But, yes, I get mad when he doesn't do his shows. But you can find his shows live weekdays, 12 to 2, only on Twitch. He does some crossover shows with me as well. But why don't you give your final thoughts on the day, my man?
And today was great. You know, like I know you go through your issues and everything, but you iron them out, you get better, you grow, you become stronger, smarter, and better. And you know, you got to be a student to this. You know, you can't always assume you know everything, and you're always going to be constantly learning and figuring things out and getting better. And it's good when you can do it with people who have a passion for it as well. So it's great to meet you guys. I look forward to working with all of you and seeing like how big this can grow into. You know, it's very exciting, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Nice.
Really Trey, I just want to say, you know, we were talking about David Kaplan and him reaching out to me, you know, unprovoked and giving me kind words with what I was going through. Obviously, Phil and Shayne have always been there for me, you know, when I'm going through rough patches in my life. But I do want to say, not put you on the spot, because I know, you know, what you were saying to me, what meant a lot to me. We had a conversation a week ago. I got a lot of things going on in my life behind the scenes. I don't share too much of that stuff with too many people, but you're one of those people I do share it with. And the conversation we had a week ago meant the world to me. And the friendship that we, created here in the last few months since I met you in December, I'm so glad that we did, because you're a great man. You're very talented at what you do, but even more than that, the man you are, you know, I got a lot to learn when it comes to that, because you're calm, cool, and collected. You always have, you know, the wise words of advice, and I appreciate you being there for me, man. You're a good man.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that, man. You're a great man yourself.
Shit.
We all, like I say, iron sharpens iron. We all can learn from each other. So,
newest invention here is called the cop.
Well, if there's one thing that David Kaplan taught me shut the hell up, Shayne. If there's one thing that David Kaplan taught me a long time ago, it's lift as you climb. And Phil and Shayne did that for me. I try to do that for you, Trey. Even though you don't need any lifting, you can do this thing standing on your own 2 feet. But it's a lot easier when everybody's doing it together and pulling from the same rope. And that's how you get to the top, baby. Not that the top matters, but that's where we're going.
Right.
All the way up. All the way up. So, Phil, you know, you're always the man of many words like me. So I'll leave the floor to you, and you can go as long as you want until Shayne passes out.
He has 1 minute.
I need 2 minutes at least. I said this last week on the show, keeping it 100. Vulnerability. When you have it, you have authenticity. And Greg allows himself to be vulnerable. I'd like to take credit for that, but you know, I saw talent in him because of his personality and his person. The man, the empathetic man, is the most important as we move forward in life here. And football is everything to me. And I was able to form a friendship and a bond and a brotherhood with Shayne through this amazing team. That allowed me to meet all these amazing 100 crew. But it started really ultimately with Greg, meeting him and forming a brotherhood. And brothers disagree and fight and what have you. But at the end of the day, it's that vulnerability that comes through that you recognize the journey. And today you saw TTNL, Brags in the Stands, have to deal with every form of adversity prior to the show and during, even Mother Nature coming in with a tornado. And if you can't appreciate that, and I will say this, there is no trick, and I speak truthfully. I don't blow smoke and I don't bullshit nobody. Jim McMahon, obviously with the tornado and all the fans there, we didn't know if we were going to get Jim McMahon for 2 minutes or 25 minutes. But the reality is it didn't work out. But don't miss the fact that you did get David Kaplan in his garage talking football. And you did get Greg's mom on the show, just like Shayne did. And the reality is you saw Doug Plank jump on here because you know what? In the formulation of truth from Alex Acevedo and Johnny B to everybody on the show, Trey Tunes, everybody, we all appreciate Greg. We all appreciate the Chicago Bears. So to go on Saturday and do this show together really meant a lot to me and this network, as me and Shayne are just sitting back here just trying to weather the storm of the show. These guys are physically out there trying to weather it. So I can't say enough good things. Trey, I just met you today, but Greg has spoke so highly of you. And I just want to tip my hat to Johnny B, Alex Acevedo, and Greg being live out in the scene, handling as best they can the adversity. So God bless you guys. I know it's like a windstorm there. We'll just wrap it up on what was not only a fun day, but it's a testament to all of us. Like, you learn as you go. And what better way to do it than live with guys like David Kaplan, Doug Plank, Greg Braggs, Shayne the Smartest Man, Trey, Alex, and Johnny B, and all the guests, including Phyllis, who is excited about
big Justin Fields fan.
Big Justin Fields fan. So love you guys. The 100 crew was strong today. Chris Jackal on a beach in the Cape is checking in late. We had it all today. So I love you guys. 2 hours and 23 minutes. I can't say enough good things about this event and the guys that are doing the whole thing of promoting Greg, or Greg promoting them. Greg, what? Give the name of their thing again. I totally went blank there. I was trying to search it. There it is. The Collector's Cave. Thank you. Shout out the Collector's Cave, setting this all up. Big facts here. Tried to get Jim McMahon to come on, but listen, there's a tornado there. There's all this stuff going on. So believe us when we tell us there's no trick. This isn't Halloween. There ain't no tricks or treats. The only treat you get right there is Alex Acevedo. We can't hear you guys, but we love you.
All right.
Give us, is that it, Shayne? Great show.
Yeah, I think it is it. I'm looking to see if he's got an outro here, but it does not look like
outro.
Does not look like he does. So we're gonna do it the only way that we know how, as we sign off here.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, now we got
it. Can you hear us? All right, hold on, because I also am trying to get the goddamn thing where you can hear us.
There he goes. And he's
there
off.
he is. But we will close it out the only way we know how here. So here. Oh, there he is coming back.
And he's back.
There he's back.
All right, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes. We can't hear you anymore.
Let's just say goodbye.
Yes.
There you go. Shayne's taking us out.
I'm Greg Braggs Jr., Phil Ottochian, Shayne Marsaw from the Tape Never Lies Network, Trey Tunes from the Trey Tunes Show, our guy Alex
Motherfucking Acevedo killing it today. Get over here, Chris Gonzalez. Chris Gonzalez from the Ballroom Network.
Get him a step stool. Get him a step stool. Always
we can't hear you saying whatever you're saying. Because now you can only hear us, so we can't hear you. So I'm sure you said something funny, because not only are you the smartest man, you're the funniest motherfucker I ever met. And when I see you, I'm going to strangle the shit out of you for all the funny-ass jokes you got. But it's a friendship that I truly appreciate across the board from all you guys. So, I can only say goodbye so many times, but this is probably the best way to do it. We'll be doing more live shows in the future. A month from now, I think it's July 26th, Dan Hampton will be doing another public meet and greet signing here for the Collector's Game, and we're probably going to be involved in that. So we'll see how everything goes going forward. But I want to thank everybody in the chat for hanging out. Chubbs82, my one and only loyal viewer to the show. He always gets my shout out, and the rest of you,
there's lots of other networks that have one fan.
More, you fucking assholes. Well, you can't, because you guys do shows 7 days a fucking week. How about you take a break for once, you assholes? I'm starting to get drunk.
We're all ready to dance, and that's the way that we're gonna.
You can yell as loud as you want.
Just
this is
play
glorious
it,
because
he's drunk.
We're all ready to dance, and that's the way we're going to close it out. Trey, what do you think, bro?
And I'm sorry, they're giving Leno way too much grief.
Trey, I love Trey.
Why?
Why?
All right, thanks for coming out, everybody. We love you all.
Love you guys.
This is Bragg in the stands signing out.